Lakeshore Drive, even the Loop. And, as our editor Sammy points out, it's the fountain from Married with Children. Downtown Chicago has character, and its suburban neighbor has speed. Nothing shy about Chi-Town tonight. Last year's champ, Hornaday, is still in this fight, but Sauter has an advantage here, a nationwide win. Timothy Peters might be the underdog. Almirola is racking up wins, but not as many as this guy. Can anyone catch Bodine? Look what's blown into town. About 40 miles southwest of downtown, you will find the Chicagoland Speedway. The trucks are drafting in the Windy City, so strap yourself down. The setup presented by Polaris is on. Hello everyone, I'm Krista Voda. An absolutely beautiful night here just outside of Chicago. And when we talk about weather, wow, we cannot ask for a better night for racing. The ARCA race actually just wrapped up moments ago. Patrick Sheltra, the winner in that one. Indy cars are also here, and Kyle Busch is here. It might be an off weekend for the Cup Series. It is not an off weekend for Kyle. You know, history was made last weekend, but let's go back and start at the beginning. It was Wednesday when the trucks warmed up the track, all three series racing in Bristol, and it didn't take long for that old Bristol style to be back in fashion. Let's take a look back.
The trucks roared into Thunder Valley for race 15, a short track that's known for short tempers.
You know, it all comes down to track position most of the time, but we ain't got it to start with, so we got to find it.
As a race car driver, there's nothing more thrilling than coming to the green at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Green flag in the air, we're underway.
Veteran or rookie, Bristol Motor Speedway doesn't discriminate.
Keselowski spins off the corner while battling for that position.
Problems in turn number one. Austin Dillon's involved.
Gets bumped into by the spinning Donnie Leah.
Get going, guys. We got to get going. They're coming. We got to go. Go, 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 go.
Kyle Busch maybe got into the 10.
Here come the leaders. Those who did not pit at lap number 31.
Ron Hornaday on the back straightaway, tags the inside wall.
We got the nose. I don't know how bad.
Oh, trouble. The 10 just got in trouble with the 31.
You know, she would have locked up the brakes and stopped the truck. Maybe it would have kept from taking us out, but oh well.
Kyle has gotten to the front of the field. His advantage has grown to better than 1 full second over Timothy Peters.
Oh, he's going to turn into the wall.
They're
the
both
17
in the wall.
of Timothy Peters and the 2 of Elliott Sadler.
A bumper hook. I didn't mean to hit him. A bumper hook.
Well, it looked like Elliott had just a piece of his nose on the outside of Timothy, and Timothy crowded up.
Trouble. David Starr has a problem. Bangs off the inside retaining wall.
The 81 of David Starr, and there's more contact.
Kenny
Ken Schrader gets into him. Dennis Sensor goes around. The 4 of Ricky Carmichael involved.
With most of the field pitting early, the idea of running out of fuel quickly became a reality.
The red flag is out. Lots of cleanup taking place here on the main straightaway.
And remember the fuel situation. Now we're going to go overtime when we know Kyle Busch has to be low on fuel.
I think we got enough gas. It's just if it picks it up with the banking at this place.
Johnny Sauter came in at 35 and ran out. Those guys pitted at 30, 31.
1 to go here at the line, 1 to go. Make sure you get that box full.
And we are going back to a green-white checkered flag finish. Green is in the air. Kyle Busch gets gone.
Got to spin.
White flag out as they spin behind him.
Did I take the white? Did I take the white? Hey, you just got to make it back.
The leader did take the white flag before the caution. Checkers are in the air.
You got it, bud. You took the white.
Kyle Busch will win 3 in a row at Bristol.
Gosh! I can't believe it. We're out of gas.
Tempers are, as they normally are here at Bristol, somewhat short when the night is done.
More on Kyle in just a minute, but the best battle among this group, the fight for 6th. Austin Dillon is breathing down Matt Crafton's neck. Ricky Carmichael holds on to the 10th spot. Jason White is chasing him. But up front, Bodine, well, he's got to be feeling comfortable. What about Kyle Busch? We talked about history. Never been done before, ever, in NASCAR. Keep your eye on Kyle Busch. He is running the triple this weekend.
Well, he qualified first, but will start from the back. White flag out as they spin behind him.
Caution flag.
Kyle Busch took the white flag. Kyle Busch will win 3 in a row at Bristol.
That is the battle for the race lead.
He hits the wall. Keselowski gets into the back end and retakes the lead. And then Busch is right back up. He turns Keselowski.
Kyle Busch is now 2 for 2. You're about to see history.
Kyle Busch will pull off the clean sweep at Bristol Motor Speedway.
The first man ever to sweep all 3 Touring Series.
An incredible feat, especially when you consider it's never been done before. And then it's Bristol, one of the toughest tracks. And in the truck race, he claimed the pole but had to start in the back after making a change. There you see where he started and his laps led in all 3 races. Ray Dunlap, absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, Chris, it was an incredible weekend at Bristol. Kyle's still doing a little bit of celebrating. Of course, he was the guy who won the race here at Chicagoland a year ago. But it's your toy in your hand that's really got me intrigued. Tell me about this.
It's pretty cool. This is just kind of a mock-up of course, my race truck that we're racing here tonight, the Traxxas Toyota Tundra and everything. But, you know, we'll be hopefully putting this into production if we get a lot more interest out of it. So we're looking forward to doing that for these guys at Traxxas and stuff. And looking forward to tonight's race as well, too. You know, we feel like we've got a good shot for tonight with the Traxxas Tundra. And, of course, if anybody's still interested, you can win my Tundra. If you go to winkylestundra.com, $18 raffle tickets. And, Ray, you asked me last week, you weren't sure if you could win. You can win.
I can win if I buy a ticket.
You're eligible. If you buy a ticket, can you imagine winning a Tundra for 18 bucks?
I would love that. Now let's take a look at the video here when we look back to the incredible weekend that you had at Bristol. You want to just, has it sunk into you yet, just how cool that was?
Yeah, the weekend at Bristol was pretty awesome. I think what we're showing now, though, is my off-road debut here.
That didn't go quite as good, did it?
No, it really brought me back down to reality pretty fast. I won 3 races in a row in Bristol, and then came out here and we broke twice in the off-road truck. But had a blast, man. It was so much fun, catching some air, jumping some jumps, and you know, it was a neat experience for me. Thank M&M's, thank Traxxas for that as well too. And you know, the replica of those, the off-road trucks are so sweet, man. You can, out of the box, you can buy one and just run it right up and down the road, you know, and just charge the battery and let her eat. So a lot of fun to be associated with these folks. I've been an RC enthusiast for my whole life, and it's fun for me to get out here and, of course, just kind of get back after it on the racetrack and, of course, in the streets, just doing the RC.
All right, go give your sponsor a real good run. That's a cool-looking truck. Kyle Busch, the winner 1 year ago here at Chicagoland.
And Ray, if he's going to get his 4th consecutive NASCAR win, he's likely going to have to beat this guy, the pole sitter for tonight, and of course the Truck Series point leader, Todd Bodine. What's the key to success here in Chicago this evening?
Well, the first thing is stay out of trouble, and then we're starting up front, so that's a good thing. You know, you got to be consistent. The truck, Chicago, as the run goes on, you think it's going to slow down a little bit, but for some reason at night, when it starts cooling down even more and more, it's actually going to get faster as the night goes. So hopefully we have the right balance in the truck, and that's what's important, to make sure that balance throughout the run is the same, and then you can adjust to it. So, you know, we've got a really good Tundra. Everybody at Germain Racing's done a heck of a job, and hopefully we can get it done again.
Ray mentioned Kyle Busch won this race a year ago. Krista, Todd Bodine finished 2nd.
Yep, and he is on the pole tonight. Back in the field tonight, Rick Crawford. He is a huge Elvis fan. No blue suede shoes here, but Joliet is home to the Blues Brothers, and we've already got the band back together. Good to have Crawford back in the field. Still to come on the setup. By now, you've probably noticed Todd Bodine likes Tootsie Pops. You always see him with one pre-race. Well, we tag along with the points leader as he gets a tour of the Tootsie Pop factory. And we'll ask the drivers what sort of artwork they take with them behind the wheel. Who knew helmets were such a canvas? Stick around. The setup rolls on next. The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by Camping World. Isn't it time for an RV adventure? Log on to campingworld.com/RV rentals and reserve your $3.99 fall getaway special. And by Herculiner, truck bed liners with Herculiner. The tough comes easy. This area is a pretty big movie mecca. We mentioned the Blues Brothers. The Kevin Bacon thriller Stir of Echoes was also shot in Joliet. So was the TV show Prison Break. Welcome back to the Chicagoland Speedway. And yeah, we mentioned movies. You know, movies actually play a role on your favorite driver's helmet. What's painted on your favorite driver's noggin? We asked that question in this week's Bumper to Bumper.
It has like
And then I put In God We Trust in the front of it.
When I started in the truck series, I got a brand new helmet when we started and never had it painted, just a white helmet. And we were doing really well. I was gonna get my helmets painted and my crew guys wouldn't let me. Now they're superstitious, they wouldn't let me have a painted helmet because we had the white helmet. So we went the whole year and we won the championship in '06.
I have my initials on there and obviously Monster Energy on there, and it's basically a design that they generated. But it's pretty cool.
I got a skeleton on the back of it, and he's got a gold tooth. And the first time I wore the helmet, I won with it at Dover. So Richie, my crew chief's been on me about the fact that since it had a gold tooth, it was good luck. But we'll see about that.
Eric Almirola will win in Michigan. Great job, buddy. Great job. Woo! It's the gold tooth. It's the gold tooth.
We mentioned earlier that Kyle Busch won this race a year ago. He did so in the 51 truck behind the wheel of that machine tonight, Eric Almirola. So any magic carryover from last year to this year for this team?
We'll see. Our truck was pretty good today in practice, and it was good last night. It's sort of like Bristol again. We don't have the initial speed, but we seem to be pretty consistent. So hopefully everybody will back up to us, and I think the draft is going to play a big part in the race tonight. So I'm really confident in our Graceway Pharmaceuticals Toyota Tundra. I'm sure it'll be fast, and I'm sure it'll all come down to those last few laps.
Almirola starting in the 8th position here tonight.
Almirola trying to catch Todd Bodine tonight as Bodine's on the pole and in the points. The problem is these 1.5 miles are Bodine's specialty. One of the specialties for a new sponsor tonight, saving young lives. There you see the
I'm Mike Garrity, and this is Ken Butler III, and we're NASCAR drivers sponsored by Kids Embrace, and we're just super excited. We're new parents, and we found out that 80% of car seats are improperly installed, and 90% of fatalities are due to improper installation. So we've started this Every Child Matters program. We want to eliminate 80% of the installations that are improper to eliminate 90% of the fatalities. Dave, tell us how we're going to do that.
We've taken a car seat and made a fun environment for a child to be in, because it's 90% of the problem is the kids don't want to sit in the car seat. So we've created a fun environment. We have a harness system that's produced by Saybelt, which also partners with NASCAR. We have quick ejector pins to make sure that you snap that seat in place. We know it's child secure. We've added push button connectors. We have a top tether hook that goes up through the head support. We're the only company that allows you to move the head support up and down and put the tether strap in place. So you never have to worry about uninstalling and reinstalling the car seat when you're adjusting it to a child.
So as you can see with Kids Embrace, every child really does matter.
Ken Butler is in that 6th truck tonight. Such a cool endeavor. NASCAR helping spread the word on child safety. One of the guys who was quick in today's final practice, Austin Dillon. He returned to college last week. He returns to the Midwest, hoping for his 2nd career win. Keep your television right where it is. More from Chicagoland on Speed, still to come. The setup is presented by Polaris, the hardest working, smoothest riding off-road vehicles, now at your local dealer. Brought to you in part by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and by Lumber Liquidators, hardwood flooring for less. We all know Chicago is called the Windy City, but did you know it's also referred to as the Big Onion? Seriously, playing off New York's nickname, the Big Apple, Chicago adopted the Big Onion. Pretty appropriate for our points leader, right? Todd Bodine, also referred to as the Onion, but he's always seen with a lollipop pre-race festivities, right? Well, he was in luck because the Tootsie Roll headquarters, located right here in Chicago, Todd got a tour and we tagged along.
Well, I don't have a superstition of Tootsie Pops. I've always been a fan of Tootsie Pops. I've always loved sucking on them, and I just got to where before qualifying and before the race, I just always take one out with me, and it kind of became known that that's what I did, and everybody knew about it. So it was just a lot of fun. And I like all the flavors actually, but cherry's definitely my favorite. Like I said, I've always been a fan of Tootsie Roll and Tootsie Pops, and being right here in Chicago and coming up here, we got it set up to go over there and tour, just to see what it's about, see how it's made. And well, we came in and Mrs. Gordon met us at the door in the lobby, and she's a sweet lady, just fantastic people. And
we have for you
oh,
favorite.
It's right, my favorite, red ones.
Cherry.
Love cherry. And got to meet Mr. Gordon and you know, a lot of the people that work there, and just, you know, just to be able to go over there and see all that and see how it's made. I mean, it's a trade secret kind of how they get that Tootsie Roll center, so I can't tell you about that, but it's really cool to see how it's done.
You can't see it if you don't even talk about it.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
That's neat.
I enjoy seeing those things, how something can start as a raw material and come together to be something. That always interests me. I love looking at those things, the machines, and how the Tootsie Roll's made and how the things are wrapped, and there's so much interesting stuff. The machinery is incredible to see, and the best part about the whole thing was getting to, well, I didn't get to reach over and grab it, but they went over and grabbed the Tootsie Roll. It's fresh, it comes right out of the machine from being made, and he grabbed a handful and let us eat it. That was, it's incredible how good it is.
Now that's a lot of Tootsie Rolls right there.
It's a Tootsie Roll waterfall. Thanks for coming on our tour. After all the pops you guys ate, I hope you figured out how many licks it takes to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop.
I haven't figured it out yet, but I'll let you know.
1, and a 2, and a 3.
Well, Todd Bodine actually has the Tootsie Pop in his mouth as we speak, as do I. Because now it's time for the age-old question, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Well, Purdue University actually conducted a study to find that out. We went to a whole nother source of esteemed judges, our own drivers.
I'm gonna say 3.
What?
17.
127.
98.
101.
165. 252.
38.
Man, that's 23. I can't go anymore.
How many licks does it take to get to the end of a Tootsie Pop? 1, 2, 3.
Well, 252 actually is the answer, according to Purdue University. I think Mario Gosselin already looked at that study. So I'm going to keep going here because I have a while. But did you also know the first game of Uno was actually played in Joliet, Illinois? The trucks used the multiple format qualifying today, and no surprise, numero uno here tonight was Todd Bodine. He's starting on the pole, and who will he be? Will he still be number 1 when the race completes? I'm actually watching Todd Bodine right now. He still has the Tootsie Pop in his mouth. Unbelievable. Stick around, we'll wrap things up next. Welcome back to the setup presented by Polaris. A lot of folks down on the grid getting to meet some of the drivers. There you see a great crowd as we're just about ready to go racing. And one of the folks who is down here is the CEO of our series title sponsor, Camping World, Marcus Lemonis. A home race for you guys because this is where you guys are.
I'm right up the street.
And we've got a home stretch for Destination Recreation Sweepstakes going on.
You know, there's 1 month left. We've had over 150,000 entries so far, $250,000 of prizes. CampingWorld.com is where you enter. 4 weeks left.
Well, we know folks watch Speed because of the great truck racing that they see, but there's an even better reason to be watching Speed thanks to you guys.
You know, I get fan letters all the time asking why we don't do more for Speed viewers. So tonight, for this weekend, we're going to test it. You log on to campingworld.com/speed, special offers, free shipping, extra 10% off, a few free gifts. You can't tell your friends, it's only for Speed viewers.
Now, if your friends watch Speed, it's okay, but that's the only way.
Only if they watch it.
And that's only for how long?
This weekend only. Really? Then I'll let you know.
Okay, sounds good. So watching Speed, go to Camping World. You had all the information right there on your screen. Home race, the home stretch of our season. It doesn't get any better than this.
Fantastic. Thank you, Krista.
All right, thanks, Marcus. And hey, we saw history made last weekend. What will we see tonight? The EnjoyIllinois.com 225 is about to go green right here on Speed. Don't go away. Todd Bodine on the pole, Austin Dillon alongside. Will it be one of those guys or one of the guys back in the field? Steve Park, David Starr is here, Rick Crawford is back. You have to stick around to see what happens. It all unfolds right here from Chicagoland right now.
The calm before the storm gives way to a sweeping breeze.
Kyle Busch will pull off the clean sweep at Bristol Motor Speedway. He takes the truck race, the nationwide event, and he claims the Irwin Tools night race.
Where gusts cause turbulence.
Let's get ready. He's got to keep his eye on the rearview mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. Had to chase the truck up the hill.
Something that could get dicey.
And speeds reach dangerous levels.
He may have got loose up off the corner.
7th place, a good scramble now.
This is going to really hurt.
It's going to hurt. Kyle Busch is trying to change history this year.
The only shelter is in Victory Lane.
The inaugural race at Chicagoland Speedway. The victor, Kyle Busch.
The trucks blow into the Windy City, and it starts now on Speed.
And welcome to the Windy City, Chicago, and Chicagoland Speedway. It's the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. EnjoyIllinois.com 225, presented on Speed by Pep Boys. Gorgeous evening for racing under the lights. 77 degrees here in Joliet, Illinois, just a little bit south and west of downtown Chicago. Clear skies and a very slight breeze here at the racetrack, even though it is called the Windy City. Well, we always like to talk about history in the Camping World Truck Series, and here at this racetrack, not a lot of history, because last year was the first race at Chicagoland Speedway for the Camping World Truck Series, and Kyle Busch was the guy who won the race. Well, last year he started in the 4th position. Where does he start tonight? He starts in 4th. Will history repeat itself? We're going to find out. Now let's go trackside for our pre-race ceremonies.
Remove your hats as the inspector instructor staff, 2nd Battalion, 24th Marines from Chicago, Illinois, present our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Director of Raceway Windy City's Ministry, Glenn Spoelstra, offers tonight's invocation.
Shall we pray? Dear Lord, we just praise and thank you for this absolutely gorgeous day that you've given us. Lord, we just thank you for the fact that you've given us this country where we can have a spectacle like this. Lord, we thank you for the troops that protect us around the world so that we can be here tonight. And Lord, we ask for safety for the drivers, for the crews, for the safety crews, for everyone involved. Just help us to have a great night and a safe trip home. And it's in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ, that we pray. Amen.
And in honor of our troops, please place your hand over your heart and welcome Megan Waltman as she performs our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were
Let's hear it.
Back at Chicagoland Speedway for our second visit to this mile-and-a-half racetrack. And the drivers will get their words of encouragement before they climb in and strap in to their race trucks. And we're about to get ready to race here at Chicagoland Speedway. All the preparation, all the practices and qualifying are done. Now it's time to drop the green flag and go racing. Stay with us here on Speed. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on Speed by Pep Boys. Pep Boys does everything for less. Call 1-800-PEP-BOYS. Brought to you in part by Camping World. Isn't it time for an RV adventure? Log on to campingworld.com/RV rentals and reserve your $399 fall getaway special. And by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Welcome back to Chicagoland Speedway. Mike Skinner strapping in as he puts his helmet on and gets ready for tonight's race. We go trackside once again for our Polaris resetup with Chris Devoto.
Thanks, Rick. Just the second time the trucks have been here at Chicagoland, so what should you keep your eye on tonight? Well, we know to keep your eye on a lot of storylines. For one, Rick Crawford is back. He missed 11 races after losing sponsorship. Tonight he's back driving the number 73. Crawford finished 4th in this race last year. Also back in the field, an old favorite, Steve Park, driving for Eddie Sharp Racing. David Starr's former truck, the 81, is not here, but David is. He was able to put a deal together with the 21, trying to keep himself in the top 10 in points. He is currently 9th. Multi-truck qualifying for just the second time this year. The front row, Todd Bodine and Austin Dillon. Drivers love the multi-truck format, so do the fans. Drama right up until the very last truck. Todd Bodine was the last one to go out, and he puts it on the pole. And remember, he loves these mile-and-a-half racetracks. The rest of the field might be in trouble tonight.
Well, Krista, it's all about drama. When we come to Chicagoland Speedway, this is just our second stop here, and obviously we're going to have another great race.
Well, we really are. This is a really raceable racetrack. You run the bottom, you run the high side. This racetrack is only about 9 years old, and it's really matured nicely. It's got some bumps, it has some character, and it's one of 5 mile-and-a-halfs we have left.
Should be fun. I like what you're saying, Phil. How about we go downstairs and get all this action started?
Let's do it.
A man of many words. Let's get
race fans, are you ready? Well, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome CEO of Camping World RVs, Marcus Lemonis, to give the command.
Race fans, if you enjoy Illinois as much as I do, get on your feet and make some noise. On the count of 3, all together. 1, 2, 3. Drivers, start your engines.
Fire it up. Okay, fire it up here. You there, Sweet Pea? Loud and clear, Kevin. Loud and clear. Yeah, 4, you got me? Loud and clear,
Fire
buddy.
it up. The command.
Nothing quite like the
engines are fired. We're ready to go racing. Stay with us here on Speed.
Beautifully painted, prestige.
Welcome back to the EnjoyIllinois.com. 225 presented on Speed by Pep Boys. It's the Chicagoland Speedway, all lit up under the lights. 73 degrees as the sun has gone down, 61% humidity, clear skies overhead, although that's not going to matter. We're not expecting any type of precipitation. It's been a gorgeous day here and a gorgeous weekend. Our starting grid rolls across the bottom of the screen. Todd Bodine and Austin Dillon will make up that front row. Want to take a look at our ZMAX track description for this mile-and-a-half.
Oh, and what a fun track it is, guys. 1.5 miles in length. The corners are banked at 18 degrees, the tri over 11. But what I love most about this track, Phil, that back straightaway, it's got an arch to it. It gives you the ability to really run off turn 2 and take all that momentum and swing your way down into turn 3. A good angle of approach to that corner. A lot of passing off 2 and down into turn 3.
Take a look at our Pep Boys race analysis. 36 trucks will take the green flag here momentarily.
As you can see, 225 miles, 150 laps, purse over 600 grand, and our pit window somewhere between 50 and 55 laps.
$600,000 is why you're going to see these boys get serious here in a minute.
They would do it for $6 too, though.
But they're really going to be doing it for 600.
They're going to get serious for 150 laps here at Chicagoland Speedway. Let's shine a light on a few different drivers in our speed spotlight. We start with Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. Very nice to see a brand new team here at the racetrack tonight. This is Sharp Hartman Racing. The truck is number 41, driven by Steve Park. They've got sponsorship from Bolograph, which is a European company, and Van Dyke Balers. They're in the recycling business. But this team started tonight in the 25th position. Steve Park said if we get a top 10 tonight, that'll move us in the right direction. Look for the 41 truck to do at least 4 races this year, and they're hoping to go full time in 2011. Adam?
Tim Andrews is here tonight, Ray, driving the 95 machine for Danny Gill. He said he's happy to fill in whenever there's an opportunity, and it's been a busy day for Tim. The ARCA Racing Series here earlier this evening, and he was spotting for Tom Hessert in that event. Tim is the son of Paul Andrews, a longtime NASCAR crew chief and current signal caller in the ARCA Series. Phil?
Adam, I want to take a look at the Harmonator. Mike Carmen's 52 years old from Birmingport, Alabama. He has over 115 starts in the Nationwide Series and over 100 starts in the ARCA Series. He only has 23 starts here in the Truck Series, including 12 this season. He got his best career finish this year just a few weeks ago at Darlington when he finished 15th. He has over 300 feature wins in the short track in his career, and he will start this race from the 28th position.
Let's take a look at Mike Garvey, y'all. In order to race, you must first qualify. And Mike did again, barely. And I say again because he hasn't missed a race all year this year when he's attempted to qualify. And I say barely because he squeezed into the last starting spot. He's raced in Sprint Cup, Nationwide, and in the Camping World Trucks, all 3 of NASCAR's top divisions. One of Mike's biggest career accomplishments came in 1990 when he was crowned NASCAR's All-American Challenge Series champion. Go get him, Mike.
Those are speed spotlights. We'll keep an eye on those. It's always great to watch racing under the lights. And how about riding along with a few of the drivers? Matt Crafton will carry one of our cameras. He'll start in the 18th position.
We're also going to ride along with a Toyota onboard camera of Mike Skinner. This will be the first time this season Mike Skinner doesn't have a teammate. The 81 of David Starr did not come to this race. Mike will start his race from the 16th position.
I'm inside Narain Karthikeyan's truck. It's 6:27 a.m. over there in India, and they're watching live. He's making his best start. He's starting 9th, best he's ever rolled off. Hello, India.
Good morning, India. And how about James Busher? He'll also carry one of our cameras. He starts in the 3rd position in that number 31 truck. We'll see how James Busher does here at the 1.5 miles.
If it's 6:30 in the morning over there, do they already know who won?
I'm a little bit nervous of how it can be a half-hour difference.
Is it Saturday morning or Friday morning?
It's tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning?
It's tomorrow. Hopefully they don't know the outcome of this race. Ray?
Well, Rick, no matter what time it is where the fans are watching tonight, they probably know that the 2 truck has a long history in this series. For a long time, Ultra Motorsports campaigned the 2, and they had a lot of drivers win in it. But lately, it's been all Kevin Harvick Incorporated. And when you look at all the drivers that have won in this truck, it's a really interesting list. A bunch of guys with 1 win, and one guy that would like to add his name to that list, Shelby Howard, has never won here in the Camping World Trucks. But I believe the 2 truck has a strong effort tonight, and we may just make it from 27 wins to 28 tonight here in Chicago. Adam?
Ray, tonight the first of 9 races remaining in the 2010 season for the Camping World Truck Series. 5 of those events on 1.5 mile racetracks, just like right here at Chicagoland Speedway. And that's very good news for our point leader, Todd Bodine. The reason why he has more victories at these kinds of tracks than any other driver. And check out his numbers and how they compare this season to 2006 when he won his only NASCAR championship. Very similar. Driver 30 starting on the pole tonight and trying to get yet another victory in a quest for a title. Rick?
Thanks, Adam. You know, amazingly enough, Todd Bodine has 20 wins in the Camping World Truck Series, and never has he won on a racetrack shorter than 1 mile.
But that's a statistic that's going to be a race soon. I know that man can win on one of these little tracks. You don't have all the talent he has and not be able to get it done everywhere. It's just been circumstances that have kept him from doing that. That's what I think.
Right now, he would settle for another 1.5 mile win, wouldn't you think?
That's number 1 on his list at the moment as he's pulling those belts tight and getting ready to bring them to the green here in Chicago.
Austin Dillon will start on the outside of row number 1. Todd Bodine has selected the inside line for his starting position. He's got to worry, obviously, about the guy starting 4th in the number 18 truck, Kyle Busch, coming off of 3 consecutive wins in 3 different series from last week.
You know, and Todd Bodine finished 2nd last year in this race to Kyle Busch.
Wants to rectify that situation. Todd Bodine will bring the field to the green flag tonight. How about Hornaday back there battling in the 7th spot to start this race. We'll find out how he'll fare tonight. Green flag in the air. We're underway from Chicagoland.
Kyle Busch gave Austin Dillon a little bump in the tailgate, and it shot Austin Dillon all the way out in front of Todd Bodine down into 1.
3 wide as they go into turn number 1.
Ron Hornaday jumped to the inside, made it 3 wide, got by Johnny Sauter.
Down the back stretch they go side by side, door to door. Now Austin Dillon has the advantage. Here comes the 33 of Hornaday, looking to the inside of James Busher, but has to drop back.
You know, Todd Bodine would like to go ahead and lead this lap, get those 5 bonus points out of the way.
And he's going to do it. He drives out in front of Austin Dillon, leads the first lap, grabs those 5 points. What a beautiful sight that is, isn't it, guys?
Sure is. Great looking trucks up there, too.
Yeah, great looking trucks. All that horsepower steaming down into those corners.
With the tapered spacer, we hear a lot of times these guys won't lift. But at a racetrack like this, we do see them lift every now and then.
I was talking to Eric Phillips, Kyle Busch's crew chief. He said Kyle Busch had not run a lap this weekend yet that he hasn't run wide open.
Crafton currently running in the 12th spot, already making up 6 positions after the drop of the green flag.
You know, we were talking to Todd Bodine before the race, and he said as night settles, it gets darker. Obviously, the track keeps cooling down and down. These trucks are actually going to pick up speed. They'll run faster than they are now at the end of the race.
And sometimes that can create problems. When you run a little faster, you get a little more travel, and your truck will bottom out.
We'll see the sparks flying here at Chicagoland Speedway tonight.
You know, if you're at Daytona, Rick, you run wide open around there. And the challenges at Daytona is the draft and all the traffic. Running wide open around there is fairly easy by yourself. Here, it's a whole different story. Kyle Busch might have been running around here wide open all throughout practice, but every lap, it was a struggle. It was a challenge. You had to convince yourself that darn truck was going to stick to keep your foot on the floorboard.
That last lap, the top three trucks all ran faster than our old track record.
3 trucks have separated themselves now. Todd Bodine, Austin Dillon, and the 18 of Kyle Busch. Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, I want to tell you a little bit about the possibility of this being a fuel mileage race tonight. Lots and lots of the crew chiefs that I talked to down here in the garage said they want this to go as a 2-stop race. And in order for that to happen, things really got to kind of line up just the way you would like it. You would love for this race to go green and get to about lap 50 for your first pit stop. That way you would know exactly what your fuel window is. And then the next time you could extend that to 55 or maybe 57 laps, and that would put you right where you could work it out to about 160 laps. Yes, this is only 150 laps, but they have to use the mileage as counting it as 160, because you got to keep in mind there's always a chance that we'll go green, white, checkered. Adam?
Ray, an impressive start for Matt Crafton. Ran off in the 18th position. He's already worked his way inside the top 10, and I guess we shouldn't be surprised when we talked to Matt earlier today after his qualifying run. He was shocked that he wasn't better. He said the truck drives good. He was very confident about this evening, and here he is trying to get around Justin Lofton for the 9th position on track.
Battle for the lead. Austin Dillon looking to the inside of Todd Bodine. They run side by side down the back stretch and into turn number 3.
Austin had a good run up off of turn 2. He's going to complete that pass. Now he's going to slide up the racetrack. Here comes Kyle Busch looking for second.
Kyle Busch is going to take second away from Todd Bodine as they go to the stripe. Pretty close.
I think he's going to get it from him down here in turn 1. It looked like Todd Bodine just sort of rolled over and let Austin Dillon have the lead when he made that run on him. And if that's the case, that's a mature Todd Bodine just trying to race for a championship. He's got those 5 bonus points in the bank. He knows he's got a decent truck. He decides to hold Kyle Busch off after I told that whole story.
As mature as he's been, well, here comes Todd Bodine battling him on the outside.
Can he go ahead and finish it here? My story would have been great if it had ended right there.
Kyle Busch takes that second spot away from Todd Bodine. So Austin Dillon out in front of Kyle Busch, and Todd Bodine runs third.
But you did see Todd roll up high in the corners. He wasn't down on the side of Kyle's truck trying to take the air off of him or anything. He gave him plenty of room, and Kyle completed the pass.
How about our new leader, Ray?
Well, Austin Dillon just came on the radio and told his crew chief, Danny Stockman, I haven't found any comfortability in this thing yet. He said, I'm going to try to get to the bottom and see if I can really use the steering wheel. But so far, he hasn't found the right spot on the racetrack that really makes him feel like he's getting the fastest lap. I may beg to differ with him as he moved to the lead. Adam?
Riding second right now is Kyle Busch. He started fourth, so he has been in some traffic in the early portion of this race. And walking him through those situations on track, Brian Eichler, who is his spotter tonight. Of course, Brian also drives this 18 truck when Kyle is not available. So I'm curious for Michael and Phil, which job creates more anxiety, driving for Kyle Busch or spotting for him when he's in traffic?
I think spotting for Kyle Busch would be the toughest part, because Kyle Busch doesn't take a whole lot of time to pass people.
No, he doesn't take a whole lot of time to express when he's not happy with people either. If you're the spotter, you better make sure you make some good spots.
One driver that has to be happy right now is the man out front. That's Austin Dillon in that number 3. Kyle Busch runs second. Todd Bodine is third. Tomorrow, Scott Pruitt and Mima Rojas look to make history as the Rolex Sports Car Series treks north of the border to Montreal. Here in the Great White North, the 0-1 team seeks an unprecedented 8th victory. Don't miss the Rolex Sports Car Series live from Montreal. It's tomorrow at 2 Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, only on Speed.
What time is that in India?
When is that in India? That would be 8 p.m.
The moon looks awesome, doesn't it? That's real.
It'd be later than 8 p.m., by the way. I have no idea. We have a new leader out front. Kyle Busch is in front of the field. Take a look at how it happened.
Looked like Austin lost his momentum lapping around Chris Jones off turn 2, and that's all Kyle Busch needed. Watch what he has to do as he comes down the back straightaway here. All the way to the inside. Jennifer Joe looks like she's not real sure he's there, but he's able to clear Austin into the corner and then swing up around another lap truck. Pretty adventurous back straightaway for Kyle.
That was Jerry Johnson in the 01 that he went by that last pass. Adam Alexander.
And before Kyle Busch was able to claim the race lead, he came on the radio and said, I need the front end to turn better. I'm a little tight in the corner. He hasn't said anything since he grabbed the top spot, so I'm wondering, since now he has the lead, can that aerodynamics help that tight condition?
I think definitely when he's not following the truck like he was following Austin Dillon, he has that clean air pushing down on the front of the truck. It may very well get better.
Side-by-side racing. Steve Park in the 41, Mario Goslin on the outside, and Johanna Long in the 15 just in front of him.
What a great job again by Johanna. She just gets out there, logs laps, understands exactly what she's doing and how to do it. I love her learning curve and the way she's been able to get used to these trucks. And you could see her kind of bobbling and weaving there in the center of the corner. Like I said, this isn't a given. Running around here wide open is really hard. It looks like she's got that truck pushing it as hard as she can, and yet keeping it under control. That's impressive.
See Mario Goslin right behind Johanna in that 12 truck. What a bad couple of weeks it's been for Mario. A couple accidents taking him out of races the last couple of weeks.
That's like Johanna, her career, it started out perfectly in the truck series, then someone got loose underneath of her at Nashville and crashed her. She didn't really have a chance to get her water good and hot in that pickup truck, but before she was into the outside wall. But tonight it looks like she's just logging some laps and doing a good job. Mario's Tire Monkey truck looks like he wants to get around Johanna. He just passed Steve Park. He's moving up pretty good in that 12 truck.
Great to see Steve back in the series. That's a new team. Eddie Sharp, Carl Hartman have formed this team. They're going to run again next week in Kentucky. And Steve told us earlier during our qualifying show that they're looking at running Phoenix as well, and hopefully put something together for Homestead, our last race of the year.
Yeah, and he sounded really optimistic about what that team had on the horizon. Talked about maybe some sponsorship that could come along, and they could run more races in 2011 for sure. Made a good run on Mario off turn 2 there. A lot of momentum. Steve's not shy about learning that high line, going up there and seeing if there's any grip. He's experienced. He knows you can't just run around the bottom if that's where everyone else is. He has to venture out and try some new lanes. What's he saying, Ray, about his truck? Have you heard anything?
Yeah, a little bit tight on entry, Michael, for him, and loose in the center, so they're going to have to make some adjustments. You know, this is a truck that they bought from Evernham Motorsports, so it hasn't been on the racetrack for a couple of years. I think probably in 07 maybe was the last time this truck got raced, but bottom line is they've got 3 or 4 trucks ready to go to the racetrack right now and looking to beef up their inventory a little bit more. So again, a learning experience for the first night out for the 41. Adam?
No learning experience for Ron Hornaday. This veteran has seen it all, but the one thing he's struggling with tonight, he said the truck will not suck up. I get in traffic and I feel like I hit a wall, perhaps dealing with those aero tight issues that we've talked about throughout the evening.
Pretty impressive for Kevin Harvick Incorporated right now. Young Shelby Howard out in front of Ron Hornaday. Those two moving toward the front as they've moved into the 5th and 6th positions, both getting by the 31 of James Buescher. Right now, no one's been able to get by Kyle Busch. He's got a 1.2 second lead over Austin Dillon. Kyle Busch won this race a year ago, leading 79 laps. We'll see how he does tonight. Stay with us. Welcome back. Caution just coming out for Shelby Howard, slow on the racetrack. It's the first caution of the night. Tim Lopez waving the yellow flag there. Doesn't look like it's a tire down on the left side.
Could be on the right side, or there's an engine problem with that truck. But we don't see many problems out of those Harvick trucks, Phil.
We sure don't. There may be some debris on the racetrack somewhere. It may be coincidental, or it may have come off this 2 truck of Shelby Howard. I'm like you, Rick. I don't see. Oh, going to make the hard left into the garage area. It must have been a terminal engine problem.
I'll be darned.
Tough night for Shelby Howard.
Felt like Shelby would have a strong run. He was really good in practice, and it started off really good.
He was running up in the top 5 when he had that problem.
So Kyle Busch still out in front of the field. We've completed 29 laps. We're on lap number 30 of the 150. Again, we talked about pit windows and strategy, but that's all out the window now as we've got to lap 30.
No action on pit road right now. I don't believe these guys close that time by. But what do you think, Phil? 30 laps in?
I think they're going to come. It's over halfway towards the fuel window, and they know they have 3 sets of tires in the pits. So I think they're going to all come.
Well, while we're watching them go around the racetrack, be the biggest racing fan you can be with Verizon Championship Racing at the track and on your phone. From nationwide and IndyCar driver meet and greets to exclusive peeks inside the Penske garage, right on your VCast phone. We're your hard card to racing nirvana. Only from the network with the most 3G coverage, Verizon.
I think any of these guys, if they do come to pit road, will elect to go with 2 tires, a little bit of gas. You only need probably 1 can of gas, so.
Yeah, they'll probably have to plug in that 2nd can, but I think for the majority of these guys, I think they're going to need some adjustments to try to keep up with Kyle Busch and Austin Dillon, those trucks running up front.
Kyle Busch has raced 8 times this year. He had trouble twice. He got beat only 2 of the 8. He won the other 4. Hornaday and Amarola are the only ones that have been able to beat him. So make that he's won 3 of them. Harvick beat him 1 time as well. So
he hasn't been beat very often.
Yeah, we're going to need some serious adjustments is my point. Get in and work on it. See if we can figure out something to do with Kyle.
And while we're doing that, put 4 tires on it. You don't want to be out-tired by Kyle Busch either.
Here they come on to pit road. We go down to Adam Alexander.
And Kyle Busch continuing to pad his stats entering this evening's race. He had led more than 500 laps here at Chicagoland in NASCAR's top 3 series. A little tight behind someone else is what Kyle Busch said. It freed up when he got the lead. Eric Phillips said, come in, we'll do 4 tires, put in some fuel, and make an air pressure adjustment. This pit stop happening at lap 31, Ray.
Austin Dillon Chevrolet went just a little bit over the line that time. He'll have to back up. That's going to cost him some time. Half a pound out of the right side tires down on the track bar. And as you see Todd Bodine, they're going to do air pressure only in the 30 this time. They don't want to make too big of an adjustment on that Germain Toyota. Here comes Kyle Busch. He'll roll by the 30. Todd will be second off of pit road. And as I said, Austin Dillon going to lose a few spots here by going over the line.
Hornaday, Almirola, Ryan Sieg, your top 5 off of pit road, but a problem for the 3 team. Take another look.
That's going to cost him about 6 positions. You see him lock it up. Just inches. He was on the line. He wasn't even over the line, but the NASCAR official was right there immediately telling him to back up, but that will cost him several positions on this restart.
It's so close, and again, it's not the tire, it's just the front of this truck. So if that splitter crosses the line, which
he is definitely
on the line, without a doubt, on the line.
You got to stay inside of your box, and he didn't do that.
You and the 18 were pretty much in a league of your own there. I mean,
so they're checking the tire wear on those tires that just came off of the 3 truck, seeing how well that truck is handling for Austin Dillon. Stay with us. We'll be back for more racing. Monday night, only one NASCAR show delivers the drivers, the crew chiefs, the latest news and information and expert analysis from the epicenter of NASCAR Nation, Charlotte, North Carolina. Don't miss a full hour of NASCAR Race Up presented by Hooters Monday night at 7 Eastern, only on Speed. What a great shot of the moon here in Chicago. What's the moon over Earth, but we're seeing it from Chicago.
Yeah.
You understood.
There's a lot of places you can probably see that.
Yeah. Aaron's lucky dog goes to Tony Jackson Jr. in the 07. We get a lap back.
I don't think we could see that moon in India because, you know, it's what, 7 o'clock in the morning there?
The sun has come up. Let's find out what happened to the two. Adam Alexander.
Rick, it has been feast or famine for this 2 team in 2010. A number of victories, but some bad luck days as well. Shelby Howard, you're out of the race. What happened?
Something in the engine just let go. You know, we can't complain about it. They've made great power all year. You know, the guys had a really good truck for me here tonight. You know, I just got to thank Kevin and Delano for the opportunity. Having a lot of fun here tonight, and you know, we'll be back next week in Kentucky and see what we can do with them there.
Shelby 11th at ORP. He'll get a DNF here this evening.
Kyle Busch bringing the field back to the green flag. He's got Todd Bodine on the inside.
Green flag.
Kyle chose the outside line as he goes under the green, and here comes Hornaday 3 wide as they get ready to go into turn number 1.
What a great start by Ron Hornaday. He's going to clear Todd Bodine and Eric Almirola and roll up to that 2nd spot.
Ryan Sieg, the 39 truck, did fuel only to get out early. Really had trouble going through 1 and 2. Looked like maybe he had some debris on his tires.
James Buescher on the outside of Todd Bodine. Now Bodine looking to get under the 51 of Eric Almirola. Again, some adjustments made on these trucks to see if they can hang with that 18 of Kyle Busch. But on the flip side of that, Kyle Busch was also able to make adjustments to try to make that truck better.
Austin Dillon trying to make his way back towards the front. Lost several positions on that pit stop. Fighting his way back now.
What we heard about Kyle Busch's truck is that it was tight behind others. Well, that's not a problem at the moment.
That's one way to correct that problem, not be behind anybody.
And it looks like Ron Hornaday and maybe Todd Bodine are suffering that same fate. You can see them tucked down to the bottom of the racetrack right in the center of the corner, but as they try to exit, their trucks look like they're just pushing up off the corner. The front end won't stick, won't turn. Todd Bodine, or excuse me, Kyle Busch is using all that fresh air on the front of his truck to hold that nose down, to help it turn in the corners. They don't really have that luxury when they're following right behind them. Look at this battle for 16. We got battles all over this track.
Lorraine Carthagena in the 60. That's Brad Sweet in the 90, just in front of the 84. Brent Raymer.
Chris Fontaine there in the 84 truck.
Chris Fontaine, excuse me.
Chris is trying to better his career best finish. But he's had 3 17th place finishes this year.
Battle for 4th. James Buescher on the inside. Eric Almirola on the outside.
Austin Dillon watching those 2 over, see if there's going to be room for him to squeeze in there.
Sits back in the 6th position. Now, there's got to be a balance between drafting and then the aero advantage you get when you don't have anybody in front of you. So there's a difficult situation that Kyle Busch, obviously, his truck runs very well with nobody in front of him. But he's also towing guys behind him.
He's towing them down the straightaway, but the problem is when they get to the corner, they need that clean air on the front of their trucks to hold that front end down, and they're not getting it when they're that close to Kyle.
Check out Buescher here. He's right in that lead pack field. We hear about running these things wide open. Let's see how close he can get.
Just pedaled just a little bit. Wasn't completely wide open. Ooh, Eric Almirola very close to the wall exiting turn 4. Let's listen to him again now. He had Eric on his inside. Let's listen to him going through 1 and 2.
Still 2 back on the 3. 1 back. 1 back following you.
You can hear him just wanting to be wide open. He's got it so close to the floorboard, but he just having to breathe a little bit to get the thing to cut. It wouldn't go to the left as well as he wanted.
Like the right front has no response.
Yeah, it's exactly what he said. The right front isn't working well. He can't get it to turn like it needs to down in the center of the corner, and that's why he's having to play with the accelerator. He can tuck it right down on that white line like that. That'll help it turn a little bit if you can, the lower you can get, but he can't hold it down there. It wants to wash up on exit.
And he's fighting the same thing that everybody else is other than Kyle Busch. He's in some dirty air as well. As Michael talked about, he could try to tuck that left front down below the white line to try to get a little bit of air on the left front of that truck.
Now, Ray, after we've completed 30 laps, I know you mentioned earlier fuel mileage could be coming into play. What are you thinking now after we've completed 41 laps?
Well, Rick, to make it a 2-stop race, they really wanted to get to lap 50. That first round of pit stops came on 32. So if you go 55 5 laps from there, that gets you to about 87. Add another 55, and guess where that gets you? 142, and that's not quite enough. So obviously there's a chance we'll have some yellow flags throughout the rest of this race, but the crew chiefs and the fuel mileage guys have got the calculators going down here. They're going to be wondering, can they make this on one more stop? Is there any possible way you get enough cautions to make that happen?
It's a good battle right there. Ricky Carmichael in the Ford truck. Ricky's being shown in the 10th position. Right in front of him is a Super Seal trucker, Rick Crawford. Great to have Rick back on board here in the Camping World Truck Series.
Not only is he back, he's running in the top 10. What a strong performance for Rick Crawford.
Hasn't missed a beat.
Look at this move he's going to have to make around the outside of Ken Butler III, and that's going to open up the door for Ricky Carmichael. You could see Rick had to alter his line, and when he did so, look what happened. They're going around him on both sides just because of the way he got off turn 4.
And when these guys are running so close to wide open, any break in momentum is going to really cost you, and that was very good evidence of that right there. But the thing I like about Rick Crawford, when the Circle Bar team stopped racing, he didn't go away. Rick's been here each and every week. He's been helping Jennifer Jo Cobb immensely, spotting for her, coaching her a little bit. Nice opportunity for him to get back in the truck here.
You got to hang around, Phil. You know you want to make something happen. He started 328 of these truck races. He wasn't going to go down easy. He wanted to keep swinging at it. And look what it's got him. It's got him a truck that he's running up near the top 10 with. Great performance by Rick.
There's Matt Craft in the 88 Menards truck getting underneath Rick. That will take over the 12th position.
So Crafton drops Rick Crawford back to the 13th spot. Again, just a couple laps ago, Crawford was running in the top 10. He was in that 9th spot until he had to adjust his line, and in doing so has dropped back 4 spots into 13. So Kyle Busch out in front of the field. Ron Hornaday, Todd Bodine, Eric Almirola, and James Busher. They're your top 5 here at Chicagoland. We're glad you were able to join us.
Check out Ron battle for the lead. He's closing in on Kyle Busch, Phil.
Closing in on Kyle Busch, who again dominated this race a year ago and now trying to do the same in 2010. Since the drop of the green flag, Kyle Busch moved out front and hasn't given up that top spot. Hornaday battling right behind him in second. Hey race fans, Sunoco's Free Fuel 5000 is back. Just get your Sunoco decal, put it on your car or truck, get spotted and win. We've got spotters visiting every participating Sunoco, and if we see you with it while you're there filling up, you'll win one of thousands of instant prizes and a shot at the grand prize, 5,000 gallons of Sunoco fuel. For more information, go to GoSunoco.com.
All these trucks are running Sunoco race fuel now, you know that, right?
Yes, they are, and we heard Ray talk about Sunoco fuel being an issue potentially toward the end of this race.
Not because it's Sunoco.
It's good fuel, and they're worried about if they've got enough to make one more stop and get to the checkered flag.
And they'll give them more. I mean, Sunoco will give them more if they want.
Very generous.
Yeah.
But these guys use a lot. They're going to use a lot more racing. Oh, Todd Bodine in the outside wall.
No, Todd Bodine in the outside wall off of 2.
All 3 of our leaders had to go really high exiting turn 2. And Todd Bodine lost the nose on his truck, and the thing slid right out next to the outside wall. He actually got into the wall. I don't know if it did much damage. Looked like a little smoke there.
A little puff of smoke, maybe out over a bump or something like that.
Look bad on TV, dude.
A little bit of tire rub, and we just heard Mike Hellman Jr. say look bad on TV, so obviously they're watching. Take another look. We'll see just how bad it was.
I don't see where it could have done much damage, Phil.
I think he might have hit a bump when we saw that smoke. There they go around Johanna Long, and he just gets his right sides up above the gray where the rubber's been put down.
This is a good look at it. Look at him out of the gas. That fire coming out of the tailpipes. He's lifted out of the gas, gets into a little bit of the speedy dry that had been blown up top, and he did make contact with the wall, but I don't think that's going to be enough to, you know, we saw guys at Darlington, Brian Eichler in particular, make contact with the outside wall, and he started smoking his tires. Todd's not smoking a tire.
And oh, by the way, Michael, the last lap, Todd Bodine, fastest truck on the racetrack.
Yeah, he's mad. He's mad because he made a mistake coming off turn 2. You know, that was just a small mistake by Todd. Johanna Long maybe was up the hill a little bit further than he thought she was going to be when he got to her. He had to change his line. And anytime you just try to move over 6 inches, Phil, you got to change that big massive truck, its direction, and when you do, it's going to swing out further than you think.
Ray Carthagena on the outside now, 21 of David Starr.
Talked about earlier, Mike Skinner for the first time this year not having a teammate. David Starr has been his teammate this entire year. They announced this week that they were not bringing that truck here, the 81 truck, for Randy Moss Motorsports. So David Starr jumped in the SNS green light number 21 here, doing a pretty credible job that moves him up to the 16th spot.
Doing a heck of a job. He's got a good run going in that truck. You can see Narain's losing a couple of spots.
Ray Carthagena dropping back now behind Chris Fontaine, who was running in the 18th spot.
You know, this racetrack
by as well there, Phil.
This racetrack has obviously a special meaning for Kyle Busch as we watch the battle for 4th on back. James Busher right now has the 4th spot. Eric Almirola 5th. This has a special meaning for Kyle Busch. He was able to win this truck race here last year. And Michael, about a month or so ago, you had a pretty special day for MWR too in your team.
Oh man, what a great feeling it was to watch David Rudeman power by Jeff Gordon. And that's the thing about this track. Jeff Gordon was hung up on that high side, and David had been running the high side, liked it up there, but knew to get around Jeff, he's going to have to go to the bottom. He was able to make the move to the bottom and then hold off Carl Edwards and win a race for us here at Kentucky. It was special. You're right, Phil. Thanks for saying that. Adam, what's going on with the 88?
It's not good news, Michael. Perhaps something you can relate to as a driver is what Matt Crafton said on the radio. When Bud Hapley, the crew chief, said to him, "Is it still too loose?" He said, "Yes, yes, yes. It feels like there's no air in the right rear tire." Crafton started 18th, worked his way into the top 10, but driver 88 currently riding 12.
Hey, Adam, we're going to go inside this truck and see if we can hear what he's dealing with down in the corners. Boy, if he's out of the gas, it's minimal, isn't it, Bill?
Yeah, very minimal.
Yeah, it's better through 3 and 4 than the way it's 1 and 2.
Yeah, he liked it in 3 and 4. Let's see how much is off the gas in 1 and 2.
10-4, 43.
You see how it sort of changed directions there up off the corner? He had to chase it up the hill a little bit. He likes it in 3 and 4, but he can't drive it in 1 and 2 as well as he wants.
And that pace is about a half a second off what our leader, Kyle Busch, is able to run right now.
Kyle Busch running a 31.874 his last lap. And you heard him say 43. That's a 32.43 for Crafton's last lap.
Look at this battle.
Busher, Almirola, Dillon, 4th, 5th, and 6th on the racetrack.
It's like Busher trying to break the draft a little bit on the back straightaway off of Almirola. Doesn't want to be able to close on him as they go down the straightaway. I don't know how well that's going to work. Looks like he makes a good run through the turn and puts a gap on Eric.
Yeah, that's the place to get a gap. Just beat him through the corner.
Just play with that gas a little bit less than the guy you're racing. You know, leave it down just a little bit longer. That's the goal. But man, it's a handful to drive these things around this track almost wide open, let alone wide open.
Rick Crawford in the 73 flying by Johanna Long. And we see Brad Sweet in the 90 also making the pass.
It's a battle for the 13th position. Rick Crawford's hung in there pretty well. He started just inside the top 10.
It's like Brad Sweet's trying to run up the track. And look at the run he makes through the center of the corner, Phil. He's got that line a little bit higher, and he's able to really close on Rick. Now he's going to dive to the bottom of the track and see if he can make this pass.
The last race that Brad Sweet ran was ORP. Attempted to qualify at Bristol. The truck wasn't right. They didn't make the show, but he finished in the top 10 at ORP for his best career finish.
5th, 6th, and 7th now as we see Timothy Peters coming into the mix of this little battle. Almirola just in front of the 3 of Austin Dillon. Timothy Peters just behind him.
Timothy started back in the 15th spot, so been able to improve that truck. Obviously, it's better in race trim than it was in qualifying because he's got a shot to drive up to the top 5 right here.
Johnny Sauter also getting into the mix now in that number 13 just behind Timothy Peters.
Austin able to make the move around the outside of Eric Almirola to take over the 5th position. Here comes Timothy Peters. He took advantage of the break in momentum for Eric Almirola, and he's going to take over that spot.
And Johnny Sauter will also take advantage of that momentum swing. As Sauter looks to the bottom of the racetrack, he's not able to complete the pass as Almirola gets back in the gas and keeps that momentum up coming off of turn 4.
Creeping right into that battle there is Justin Lofton.
Hey guys, I just wanted to add on the 51 for you real quickly. Very, very loose for Eric Almirola, and he just came on the radio telling his crew chief, Richie Waters, that something weird is going on with the truck. Richie said, I'm going to need a little more information to fix it than that. Eric says it feels like something is wrong in the steering in the front of this thing. He said it's just all over the track. I can't make it do what I want it to do. I tell it to do something, and it doesn't respond.
Johnny Sauter about made something happen with the 51. About ran into it.
He ran out of room off turn 4, didn't he? I was saying before we talked to Ray, that's Justin Lofton that snuck in there. That's a good run for him, Phil. Just week in and week out, he's creeping into that top 10, even up into the top 5.
Yeah, 3 top 10s in the last 4 races, including 2 5th-place finishes. So that driver is getting better and better. Eric Almirola loses the back end a little bit up off the corner. Johnny Sauter right there.
Closing in on the halfway point of this race. Again, 150 laps scheduled for tonight's race. 225 miles from Chicagoland Speedway. As the battle continues for the 7th spot, Almirola in front of Johnny Sauter. Justin Lofton back in the 9th position. Kyle Busch is out front still. This time it's 1.1 seconds that he has the distance between he and 2nd place Ron Hornaday. Todd Bodine, who leads our points, is running 3rd. James Busher and Austin Dillon rounding out our top 5. Always fast at the 1.5 miles. This time at Chicagoland Speedway. Wednesday, primetime hits the gas on Speed. At 8 on Stealth Rider, Jason Britton takes motorcycle stunting to a new level. Then at 10, 2 different war machines share a common goal on intersections. It's all new this Wednesday, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern, only on Speed. Kyle Busch still out in front of the field. Now he has a 1.3 second lead over Ron Hornaday. Let's take a look through our field as we start with Kyle Busch and Adam Alexander.
And Rick, no surprise that Kyle Busch is pacing the field here tonight. Chicagoland, one of 6 racetracks where he has won in all 3 of NASCAR's top divisions. He has really not said much on the radio since he made his first pit stop of the night at lap 31 when they made an air pressure adjustment. Right behind Kyle on track is Ron Hornaday. Hornaday started this evening in the 7th position. He picked up a couple of spots when he made his pit stop at lap 31. A solid restart got him up to 2nd in the running order. Hornaday on the radio said, I'm trying to move around, varying my line, seeing if I can find some speed. Ray?
For Todd Bodine running in 3rd right now. This is the truck that he's used to win at 2 races this year, Texas and at Nashville. But right now he's tight in the middle. He said he has a little bit of a vibration from that contact with the wall earlier in the right front. They'll take a look at that fender when he pits. And behind him, James Busher in 31. They put the blower on the right front wheel. That way that gives him a chance to try to make that truck roll through the center a little bit better. In the 5th position is the number 3. And Austin Dillon talking to his crew chief. And Danny Stockman told him, when we pit the next time, bud, it's going to be a long pit stop because you're going to have to really pack this thing full. So don't get too worried how long we sit on pit road. Adam?
And just behind young Austin Dillon is Timothy Peters riding in the 6th spot. The 17 machine started this evening in the 15th position. He was loose early on. They adjusted that with air pressure on their first pit stop of the night. But he came on the radio and said the center windshield support is flopping around and loose. Perhaps something to keep an eye on as the evening continues. Ray?
This is Johnny Sauter's favorite truck, number 23, that he's driving. He's got it up into 7th position right now. But his problem is he cannot roll through the center the way he wants to. Asking his crew chief, Joe Shear, to make a major change on this next pit stop to try to help him get through the center. Very, very tight for him. And Adam, how's the 7 doing?
Justin Lofton has been pretty solid tonight, Ray. Started 10th and has worked his way up to 8th in the running order, and he should feel good about running here at Chicagoland. One, he had a top 5 finish a week ago at Bristol, his second of the year, and the other reason being he won a race here in ARCA Racing Series competition 1 year ago, leading 55 of 100 laps. Right behind the youngster Lofton, the veteran Mike Skinner riding in the 9th position. Skinner has been fairly quiet on the radio this evening. He took 4 tires and made an air pressure adjustment on his only pit stop of the night. The adjustment came trying to help fix a loose race truck. Ray?
Oh, Adam, I told you just a little while ago that Eric Almirola described his truck as weird, and there is the yellow. And boy, that's going to work out just the way people had hoped. They were going to be on pit road in a green flag condition in less than 5 laps.
Lance Fenton bringing out the caution on lap 79. That was the 79, or excuse me, the 47 of Lance Fenton.
We're still going to be outside their window. The guys will not be able to make it from here. They will all come down pit road when the pit road opens, but they will not be able to make it the rest of the distance. Just past halfway, Rick.
Eric Almirola dropped way back in that long green flag run that we had.
Yeah, and Todd Bodine was he didn't lose any positions, but he was losing time on the track. He was falling back as well. Chris Fontaine's had a really solid run, Phil. He was running along in the 16th spot, and now Aaron's is going to give him a lucky dog pass, and he's going to drive around Kyle Busch and back on the lead lap. It's been fun to watch Chris Fontaine. Every week he gets better and better, and tonight he's very, very competitive. He's running right there with David Starr and Jason White, Rick Crawford. Really doing a nice job, and he's going to be rewarded for his effort by getting a free pass and back onto the lead lap here.
Great chance for him to maybe get a top 15 finish. 13th his career best.
Right now, with Fontaine, there will be 16 trucks on the lead lap. So Kyle Busch, again, setting a blistering pace no matter what racetrack we go to. He is normally dominant, and tonight, no different.
No exception. I feel like I'm at Bristol still. He won everything they had. No one had ever done that before.
Dominant performance from a week ago, trying to continue that tonight, and about ready to dive onto pit road, and Kyle Busch will bring the lead lap trucks onto pit road. Adam?
He's a great competitor, Rick, and he is never satisfied. He said on the radio to crew chief Eric Phillips, I need more rear grip off turn 2. They will make an air pressure adjustment on Kyle Busch. You see him top of your screen. 4 tires fuel, and the tires will be scuffs. Middle of your screen, Ron Hornaday was much happier with the truck on that second run of the night. He too will get 4 tires. No adjustments. The call from crew chief Kevin Buskirk to Ray Dunlap.
On the bottom of your screen, you see Todd Bodine. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment on the right sides, down a half a pound. Pull out on that right fender a little bit. Come around for 4 tires. Again, you've got to pack this thing full of fuel. They're going 4 tires here. We see on the way down pit road, Hornaday and Bodine are going to have a battle. Todd will beat him off pit road, I think. Very close, guys.
Todd Bodine gaining 2 spots as he just edges Hornaday at the line.
How about Kyle Busch, our leader, coming in here? Comes off pit road in the 5th position.
Kyle Busch losing 4 spots. What happened, Adam?
Kyle just came on the radio and said, why did we do that? Asking why they held the gas can in so long, saying we've got to come back again. There was no need to make sure it was completely full. Eric Phillips replied, we had trouble getting the first can in. That was the reason for the delay on the pit stop for Kyle Busch.
Take another look.
Gets stopped exactly in the right spot here. You see watch the gas man. He's struggling a little bit, it looks like. He should have already had that first can done. See, they're already changing the left side tires. It's already up on the jack before he even plugs in the second can. They had run almost 50 laps, so you know that truck was going to take most of the fuel, and you see them waiting for the gas to get done. Let's take a look at the race off pit road. There's Todd Bodine just barely out in front of Ron Hornaday by virtue of that pole in that first pit stall. There's James Busher will come off in 3rd. Timothy Peters. There's Kyle Busch.
So 4 spots lost for Kyle Busch, and I'm sure he won't be happy, but he'll take it out on the racetrack. Stay with us.
It's Camping World's destination recreation.
I don't know
know if you knew it or not, but Camping World actually offers RV rentals in many different sizes. What's great is they have a national network of pickup and drop-off locations, and yes, you can get them in a one-way destination. Now this unit right here is a Class C or a cab over. Lots of people like this type of a camper because it's much smaller and easier to drive. For me, I prefer the big Mac Daddy unit called a Class A. They go all the way up to 32 feet, and this is just a little bit more luxury. But here's the great deal. If you call Camping World right now and ask them about the $399 Fall Getaway Special, they're going to get you a great unit that you're going to love. Make sure you tell them that Ray sent you.
Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. More prizes, more chances to win. And we heard Marcus Lemonis talking about the great deals you can get. To enter and see the complete prize descriptions and the official rules, visit campingworld.com/racing. And how about all those campers in the infield?
I believe I'd say that Marcus told me to call if I called.
Yeah, or you could say Ray. Todd Bodine on the outside. Ron Hornaday. He's figured out restarts. He'll start on the inside. James Busher and Timothy Peters making up row number 2. Right back there in row 3. How about Kyle Busch?
Will he make it 3 wide before they get to turn 1?
I would say yes.
I think he'll jump to the inside of James Busher before they get to 1, Mikey.
I know this is my favorite part. You got Hornaday down on the inside, Kyle Busch a couple of trucks back. Wonder what James Busher's thinking, all of 19 or 20 years old.
We're about to find out if he makes it 3 wide as they come back to the stripe. Green flag back in the air. Todd Bodine, Hornaday side by side.
How about Narain Karthikeyan now passing about 8 trucks on the outside?
Hornaday made that move on the inside of Todd Bodine work out, and James Busher hung tough too, Phil. He's right behind Hornaday, and right in front of Kyle Busch, and he hung tough. He's going around Todd Bodine.
And Kyle Busch did not make it 3 wide. He's hung in there in the 5th position on the inside of Timothy Peters.
Kyle Busch hugging the white line. That's a battle for the 4th spot. Timothy Peters has it. Kyle Busch trying to take it. Ricky Carmichael smoking under the hood. And the caution comes out once again. So that's the 3rd caution of the night.
Oh, good. We get to watch all that again. I like that.
You know, we've seen a lot more engine failures than we normally do. We rarely see anybody lose any engines, and we've seen a few already.
So lap 85, the 3rd caution comes out, and it's once again for an engine failure. We've seen 3 already this evening. Coverage of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series on Speed is brought to you by Nature Valley Granola Bars, the taste nature intended. By Royal Purple, the performance oil that outperforms. And by Fusion, the 2010 Motor Trend Car of the Year. Get in and drive one. So our 3rd caution of the night has come out for the 4 of Ricky Carmichael. They were on pit road 1 time. They lifted the hood, took a look underneath, couldn't find anything. This is the 2nd time now they've come onto pit road. They said jack it up on the right side, see if we can see anything.
I think they thought at first they just had an oil leak, but then when Ricky returned to the track to make a lap around to keep from losing a lap, it sounded like it was missing. It didn't sound clean to me. See what they decide to do.
Looks like it's still smoking.
So they're going to send him back around the racetrack so that he stays on the lead lap. They'll take another look, I'm sure. Stay with us. Welcome back to Joliet, Illinois, and the Chicagoland Speedway. Right along with Narain Karthikeyan, and that's because he was just given a gift.
You know, we talked about that restart when he passed a bunch of trucks. NASCAR did not penalize them. Obviously, the green flag had been displayed, or else that Todd had gotten to the double line to restart point.
And the green flag back in the air. Hornaday on the inside. Todd Bodine on the outside. By the way, the 4 of Ricky Carmichael behind the wall. They're checking on that truck again.
Todd gets a better start this time. Is able to hold that truck on the outside of Hornaday down into turn 1. James Busher does about the same thing he did last time, and Kyle Busch is right behind him.
Side by side. 1, 2, 3, 4 trucks deep.
What a great battle. Hornaday gets a little bit loose.
Up the racetrack he goes. He catches it. Todd Bodine goes by for the lead.
All clear. All clear. Be coming back to you right here.
I'm not sure he caught it. It just stopped moving.
He was fixing to catch it right off the side of Todd.
Yeah, going to catch him in that left rear quarter.
Ooh, it looked like he tried to get down inside of Todd. Todd closed the door. Ron backed off the gas. And look at the difference it made, Phil. He lost 3 or 4 truck lengths there just by hesitating off the gas a little bit down in the center of 1 and 2.
Yeah, we've seen that happen so many times. When somebody loses momentum, they end up losing a couple spots. But that time, Ron was able to stay ahead of that 17 of Timothy Peters.
Whoa, James Busher right out next to the outside wall. Looked like he had a bit of a run on Johnny Sauter and ran out of room.
So it's Todd Bodine, Ron Hornaday, Timothy Peters, Kyle Busch, Johnny Sauter, James Busher.
Look at Peters taking a little bit look on the high side on Ron Hornaday.
That may end up costing him the 3rd position if Kyle Busch can get his nose underneath him. Not able to do it down the backstretch. Drives it hard down in turn number 3 to get side by side.
Kyle Busch clearing the 17 of Timothy Peters, so he takes the spot away, moves up into the 3rd position. Now he's behind the 33 of Ron Hornaday. You mentioned that battle for the 5th spot between James Busher and Johnny Sauter. Sauter now in front of the 31, and here comes Eric Almirola in the 51.
He wasn't even part of that battle when we first went to it. Then here comes Eric Almirola with a great run through 1 and 2.
And he's bringing Mike Skinner right up in that mess with him. But look at James. He's got that thing wound up top. He's looking to get on the outside of Sauter. Golly, it's tight off for him. He makes it on the outside of Sauter.
Spread out up front. Todd Bodine, Hornaday, Busch, Peters, your top 4.
Almirola able to get by the 13 of Sauter. Move up in front of him. Now Johnny's going to fight back on the inside. They may be 3 wide here.
3 wide.
3 wide, you're on the bottom.
Johnny Sauter in the middle. Mike Skinner trying to make the pass. Eric Almirola goes by on the outside.
Johnny said, I made that great move, and now I got to make it all over again.
There's a pull away from Mike Skinner.
There was a lot of common sense with those 3 guys going side by side. Each one of them backed off at a different point to make sure they got through that corner.
Austin Dillon in the 3 on the outside here. Skinner looking to the inside. We see Rick Crawford back there in that 73 coming back into play.
Running along in the 10th spot is Crawford. See Skinner riding in 9th, looking up at Austin Dillon. That's Johnny Sauter ahead of him. These guys have got a great battle going on.
Good look from Mike Skinner's Toyota on board.
Adam Alexander doesn't look like a good night for the 4 team.
They're working really hard, Rick, but I'm not sure they've gotten any answers. A number of crew members under the front end of the truck, and there's a lot of fluid on the floor of the garage area where they are working. So obviously there is an issue with the engine. A great deal of smoke coming out of the back end. Flashlights everywhere. Everyone poking their head inside the hood to try to determine what's wrong. But unfortunately, no answers yet. And with that, Ricky Carmichael just sits idle in the garage.
You name it, it's happened to Ricky Carmichael this year. Darlington had a huge, huge crash. Now tonight, an engine problem. So a lot of things have gone wrong for him this year. Had some solid runs.
Yeah, great 4th place finish at Dover was his best.
Look at Todd kind of wandering up off the bottom field. Kyle Busch just keeps creeping up on him. He's able to get around Hornaday the last time by. And now he's starting to creep in on Kyle Busch. But, you know, he's won the most races on tracks this size, Phil.
Yeah, Todd Bodine trying to make it number 12. But look who's behind him, a tie for 2nd with Hornaday and Kyle Busch. And Kyle Busch is on the march.
Yeah, we let him start up front tonight.
Yeah, we didn't do that last week.
No, last week we put him in the back and said, let's see what you got, big boy. And he came through with a win on probably the toughest track we'll race on this year to start in the back. He drove all the way through the field and got the big win in Bristol. And that started him on quite a roll last week.
We were pretty smug in saying that nobody had ever won that race from farther back than 12th. Although I believe you and I, as Kyle Busch goes for the lead here on Top 9, said he could do it. If anybody could do it last week, he did.
Kyle Busch to the inside of Todd Bodine as they race down the backstretch. Can he get the advantage going into turn number 3? They stay door to door. Kyle Busch hugging that white line. The battle for the lead as they come up on the slower lap traffic, and Todd Bodine falls back to 2nd. Norm Benning to the bottom of the racetrack. Kyle Busch back in front of the field.
Good heads up move by Norm Benning. He saw they were coming. He moved way down out of their way.
You know, I don't think Todd Bodine's championship season will be complete if he can't figure out some way, one race to beat Kyle Busch. You know, the only two people that have beat Kyle, regular truck racers, is Hornaday and Eric Almirola. Todd Bodine needs to put that on his list too to be the champion, I think.
I think another thing Todd Bodine could put on his list is win something less than a mile. And that's coming at some point in time. We've had a few cautions, 3 to be exact, but Kyle Busch has made his way back to the front. Next Friday, the world's toughest truck stampede into the Bluegrass State, where raw horsepower and tough as nails attitudes collide. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series built for Tough 225, live from Kentucky next Friday at 7:30 Eastern, only on Speed.
And you know those folks in Kentucky are going to be pretty excited about NASCAR racing, knowing they just announced a couple of weeks ago that there'll be a Sprint Cup race coming to Kentucky.
Boy, we're really happy about that in the state of Kentucky. We've certainly supported that racetrack as well as any track around the country. Kentucky Speedway has a lot of race fans, and they were rewarded for that by getting a Sprint Cup date.
Sauter just takes 6th away from Eric Almirola. Now Austin Dillon running back in the 8th position.
Mike Skinner, the 5 truck, right behind Austin Dillon in 9th.
Thinking Austin might have a stronger run than he's had tonight. Certainly running around the back of the top 10 is not bad, but we felt like he would be a lot stronger than that. Have a chance to go up there and maybe contend for this win with Kyle Busch.
He was really good early on. Had that bit of a miscue on pit road when he slid onto the line. They backed him up. He lost several positions, and he really hasn't been able to get him back. I think he just crept into the top 5, and then after this last restart, he hasn't been able to get back into the top 5.
Ray Dunlap.
Well, Rick, let's touch on this strategy thing one more time. Obviously, first round of pit stops came at 32. Second round came at 80. If you go 55 from there, that takes you to 135 laps. So, what are you going to do on that final stretch when you know it's a very short run to the finish? If we stay green and go that long, you're not going to have very long to get to the end. So Todd Bodine wanted to find out in practice. They put a set of right side tires only on this truck and ran 5 laps to let Todd find out what it was like. And in addition to that, they also ran this truck completely out of fuel to know just exactly how much it would pick up. They were all ready to go for this final strategy. The big question, I guess, is do you do 2 tires or do you do none? Adam?
And Ray, a similar conversation being had in regard to strategy for the remainder of this race down here in the 18 camp for Kyle Busch. Rick Wren, the general manager, a great deal of experience atop the pit box. He just talked things over with crew chief Eric Phillips, and I know one of the things they were talking about is the potential of a 2-tire stop. Rick told me they did not experiment with that in practice, but he said you do have to think about it, as important as track position is late in the going here at Chicago.
I think that's a great point, guys. No way I don't think you want to take the time with 15 laps to go to put 4 tires on. It can take about 15 seconds to do that as we watch Austin Dillon go after Eric Almirola for the 7th position. And I think it's really smart by Todd's bunch to try 2 tires in practice and also to run that truck out of fuel to see exactly how much that truck picks up. Now, with their 2 previous pit stops, they know what kind of fuel mileage they get, and they know exactly how much that thing will get out of the tank. That way they can determine exactly to the lap how far they can go.
Yeah, and it's not really that big of a gamble. Todd's got a pretty healthy point lead. He's up running 2nd spot. If he does take 2 and it doesn't work perfectly, how far is he going to fall back? Maybe 3 or 4 spots. I think if they're going to try to win this race, they need to put some pressure on the 18 truck, and a way to put that pressure on, like we're saying, Phil, a splash of gas, 2 tires at the most, but get in the pits and get out in a hurry. Force Kyle to do something different too. Maybe that'll make him get 2 tires as well.
Kyle Busch right now has over a 2nd lead on Todd Bodine. Could strategy come into play? Will we have green flag pit stops? You got to stick around. Get your motor running Thursday night on Speed at 8. Pink's All Out scorches the quarter-mile track in Seattle. Then at 10, it's a high-stakes Ferrari challenge on Battle of the Supercars presented by Michelin. Thursday night beginning at 8 Eastern on Speed. During the commercial break, the 6 of Ken Butler had a left rear tire go down, but we stayed green. He was able to get down to the apron and get onto pit road. After 116 of the 150 laps, Kyle Busch out front. We've had 5 different drivers up front with 7 lead changes. Our average speed over 138 miles an hour. Just 3 times we've been slowed for caution for 13 laps. Adam Alexander.
Rick, when you're a crew chief for a driver who's dominating a race like Kyle Busch is, you can get pretty uptight worrying about how the race could get away. Kyle Busch just came on the radio. Eric Phillips didn't hear what he said, and he replied really quickly and said, "Did you just say tight, tight?" And Kyle Busch said, "No, I was referring to a move one of the lap trucks made on track." I said, "Nice, very nice." There was laughter on the radio afterward, and Eric Phillips much calmer now than he was before.
I think I'd still be sitting on edge if I had a 1 second lead over Todd Bodine, who's so good on 1.5-mile racetracks, and you look like you've got the race in hand.
Yeah, and he's not really running off from Todd. Todd's able to keep tracking him, staying in contact with Kyle, and that's going to be key, Phil, if we do happen to run through the next 20 laps and these guys start having to make some decisions on what they're going to do on pit road. Kyle staying in touch with Todd staying in touch with Kyle could force Kyle's hand, make those guys do something they don't want to do particularly.
Yeah, and this 1 second gap we have between first and second right now between Kyle Busch and Todd Bodine. Hey, you could lose 3, 4, 5 seconds on pit road fairly easily. So this race could very well be won or lost on pit road here, especially if we have green flag pit stops.
Again, the last caution that came out was on lap 85, so we've gone almost 40 laps since that caution came out.
And all these lead trucks right here pitted back on lap number 80. Remember, they did not pit on that 86, 87 lap caution.
There you can see the gap from first to second. There's Kyle, 1 lap truck, Ken Butler the third, and that Kids Embrace truck down on the inside gets well out of Todd's way, and Todd continues his pursuit.
Todd lost a huge amount of ground that time. He lost a full 0.8 of a second that time. He didn't hit the traffic at the right way and lost 0.8 of a second to Kyle Busch. Now the lead's 2 seconds.
Look at this battle.
To the inside, no room outside of Narain Karthikeyan as we see Timothy Peters have to check up and go to the inside.
There was room out there. Narain didn't know Timothy was heading that direction and about crashed them both.
Ooh, Austin Dillon got a little bit loose way up in the gray stuff, up off with 4.
James Busher was able to go by Narain Karthikeyan in the 31. Take another look at this.
Watch this. Now Hornaday's going to make the move to the inside. That opens the outside for Timothy Peters. He thinks he's going to get 2 for 1 here. Go around Hornaday, go around Narain. Narain shuts the door.
I tell you, if Timothy Peters would have had his nose 2 or 3 feet farther in there, then that would have turned Narain Karthikeyan into the outside wall.
We may have had that caution that people were looking forward to, but now we still are under green flag conditions, and with each lap that clicks off, we get that much closer to green flag pit stops.
And I'm loving that. I'm liking to see what these crews have to do, what kind of decisions they're going to have to make in order to get the victory. Will Todd's team do something that makes them have an advantage over Kyle, or will Kyle's team hold pat?
Now, do you want to be the first one to pit road to force somebody else's hand, or you want to wait and see what they do, as we see a good battle for the 5th position between Austin Dillon and James Busher?
Austin Dillon have to check up as he goes by that 07 of Tony Jackson Jr. The 7 of Justin Lofton, currently running in the 12th spot.
I think Todd's got to gamble, so I don't think I think what I'd like to do if I was Todd, let Kyle pit first if he has enough gas to do so. And if Kyle takes 2 tires or 4 tires, I got to do something. I got to do something different. Just give me a little gas and let me give it a whirl like that. Let's try to pass him in the pit.
On the right side of your screen, you see the 73 of Rick Crawford. He has been trying to stay up in that top 10. Now he's got the 7 of Justin Lofton battling for the 11th spot. Looks like Lofton's going to take it away from him. Adam.
And the last word we heard on the radio for Justin Lofton, his crew chief Mark Rett told him, the tires have looked good all night long. Save fuel. We may try to go to the end. That would be a tall order. They last pitted at lap 81, and now we have problems. Top left of your screen. There's James Busher around.
The 3 got into the 31, the 31 into the wall, and so now it brings out our 4th caution of the night. James Busher trying to get it straightened back out. The 3 got into the 31 and turned it around.
James was able to keep it out of the inside wall,
which was kind of amazing. Did you see how far he slid not to ever hit anything? Needs to make sure he's careful there. He'll have some tires flat, and one of them flies apart.
I think I got some flats. Do I found a pit?
Here they go down in turn number 1. Watch Austin. He's going to get loose down here and have to chase the truck up the hill. And when he does, he catches that left rear corner of James's truck. James gets into the outside wall with that right rear corner, but he does keep it off the inside wall.
Slides around in the grass, comes to a stop, fires it back up. Take another look.
Oh man, Austin just lost control. Look at Austin. He almost catches that outside wall and then doesn't really know which way to go with James sliding along.
That's going to open up the possibilities, I think, with 25 laps to go, Michael, as we watch the onboard. Listen to this now.
Did you hear him using that gas pedal to try to keep that thing from backing up in the outside wall? Look how close he comes to the inside wall.
Keeps it off the inside wall. Here comes Kyle Busch, your race leader. Todd Bodine's right behind him. Adam.
And a number of different conversations going on over the radio, Rick, in regard to 2 tires or 4 tires, and I'm not sure any decisions have been made just yet. Top of your screen, Kyle Busch is the race leader. Bottom of your screen, Ron Hornaday riding 3rd. They definitely debated 2 tires or 4 for Hornaday. Last I heard, Hornaday wanted 4. We'll see what they do. 2 tires for Hornaday. It's going to be 4 for Kyle Busch. To Ray Dunlap.
For Todd Bodine, it's an option because they're able to see what the competitors are doing. With Kyle going with 4, they've decided the only way to beat him is go with 4. Todd's going to get 4 tires. Hornaday and Sauter will be off pit road very early. Todd will be the 4th one to get off pit road ahead of Kyle Busch.
He gets 4 tires and beats him off pit road. It doesn't get much better than that.
That's right. I think the first 3 trucks probably took 2 tires. Hornaday, Sauter, and Dillon.
Kyle Busch loses 5 spots on pit road. Can he make them up as we had just 24 laps of racing to go? Stick with us here on Speed. Welcome back to the EnjoyIllinois.com 225 presented on Speed by Pep Boys.
Enjoy.
Karthikeyan is going to receive a gift.
Enjoy Illinois and enjoy a gift, Lorraine, from Aaron's. Lucky dog back on the lead lap.
It's the second one for Lorraine.
It is.
Puts Lorraine in the 14th spot.
I don't think they have Aaron's in India.
They'd be open.
They are watching.
They would be open if they did have them
in India. While we were in break, the 5 of Mike Skinner, who had been running fairly well tonight.
Yeah, he's solid top 10 all night long.
He is behind the wall. Adam.
And it was the drive shaft when he was going to make his exit off of pit road. He had been running really good inside the top 10 all evening long, but unfortunately disappointment to end this night for veteran Mike Skinner.
You know, everybody dropped their clutch, Rick. You know, just dropping the clutch didn't break it. There was just something that gave way when Mike did it.
Listen to when they drop the jack. Right there.
And again, you know, that you take off all season long and maybe never break a drive shaft, but then every now and then one will just give way.
And sometimes it's a perfect storm. As they drop the jack, you drop the clutch at the same time, and when it loads that left side, you know, that tire needs to spin, or else you need to slip the clutch. And when it doesn't do that, when you put so much weight on it and you're dumping the clutches at the same time, something has to give.
And this time it was the drive shaft for Mike Skinner.
Unfortunately, I speak from experience.
So now the field led by the 33 and 13.
Pace truck
Hornaday and Sauter bringing the field to the green flag. 21 laps to go. Green flag about to go back in the air. We're back underway at Chicago.
Green flag, green flag.
Guy that's been dominating this race restarts from the 6th spot. Justin Lofton makes it 3 wide down on the inside and the 1 inside of Austin Dillon.
Lofton, a great charge to the bottom of the racetrack. You know, he was up here with the ARCA race earlier, and we said, why don't you get yourself a win in the Truck Series? I think he's taking us serious.
Look at Todd Bodine all over the back of Ron Hornaday and Kyle Busch already up to the 3rd spot as they run into turn 3.
They get by Johnny Sauter, clear him. Johnny's going to move up the hill, try to block that 7 of Justin Lofton.
And look at the momentum Lofton loses. Austin Dillon looks to the inside, can't make the move though.
Hornaday, Bodine, Kyle Busch, Johnny Sauter, Justin Lofton. Lofton, we're here, took 2 tires on pit road.
Wow, Hornaday sideways off turn 2. Todd Bodine all over him.
We know Hornaday took 2 tires. Kyle Busch goes to the inside now of Todd Bodine.
They're 3 wide on behind these guys.
And again, Kyle Busch Lost 5 spots on pit road, but he wastes no time driving back to the front. Kyle Busch all the way down on the apron as they cross the start-finish line, and he takes the lead away from Todd Bodine.
You see the firefly when he drove back up on the racetrack from the apron.
Normally we only see that on a qualifying run. Today we see it on lap 131.
Well, he needs a little extra room now.
Yeah, it looked like he might have gotten Hornaday a little bit loose off that 4th turn. Hornaday was out of the gas when Kyle made the move to the bottom. Let's see if we can see what happens here as they exit. This is the trucks off turn 2. See Kyle makes the move to the inside of Todd first.
Gets a good run off the corner, pulls up even with Todd. Will clear Todd by the time he gets to turn 3.
And then he drops right up on the back of Hornaday. Hornaday gets loose.
Starts wiggling, chases it up the hill.
And you know, Kyle didn't want to take any chances. Hornaday might have thought he had something to do with it, so he tried to hide. He ran all the way to the infield grass trying to make sure he got far enough away from Hornaday.
And also the last time he saw Hornaday, he was wiggling, so he wanted to make sure they didn't get loose coming off that corner and shoot down to the inside and catch his right rear corner.
You know, I love the strategy of Todd Bodine getting 4 tires when Kyle did. They were able to get off pit road ahead of him. Now, Kyle made the move, but certainly Todd's best chance to beat him is to make the adjustment that'll make his truck good enough to just outrun Kyle. Now, if it had been green flag stop, you might need to play a game. But in that case, just give me 4 tires, make me an adjustment. I'm not that far off of Kyle Busch. Give me the chance to beat him.
Chris Fontaine in the 84. He's up in the 9th spot, just in front of Jason White.
Way by far a career best if he can just hang on. Rick Crawford running along in 12th. A couple of great stories running right in and around our top 10.
There's Jason White. Jason's in a Chevrolet this week. He's had a lot of trouble with those Dodges losing engines. I said, let's try it with a Chevrolet.
Right now he rides along in the 10th spot. And look at Todd Bodine creeping in on our race leader, Kyle Busch.
There's the distance between 1 and 2 now.
These two have finished 1st and 2nd 8 times, guys. Kyle Busch won 6 of those races. The only time that Todd's been able to beat Kyle is at Daytona.
I would thought you were going to say Texas because Todd Bodine owns Texas, it seems like. But yes, he has been extremely good on the super speedways as well, the restrictor plate racetracks.
We said, or I said a minute ago, Todd Bodine needed to beat Kyle Busch to be the man, to be the champion this year. Looks like he's thinking about it. Might be tonight that happens.
He might be. He's staying right with him. They're matching lap time after lap time. Each and every lap they're within. The last time 0.03 of a second, that time 0.03 of a second. There's a good battle for 6th and 7th right there. Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola.
Almirola, the closest competitor to Todd Bodine in the championship hunt coming into this race. He was 211 points back, and now Almirola losing the spot to Austin Dillon as Bodine continues to hold on to the 2nd spot. Pretty close call just moments ago as we take a look.
There's Eric Almirola forcing Austin Dillon. I don't think they ever made any contact, but it got awfully close. Austin was close to the outside wall, and Eric was very close to Austin.
Austin was pretty committed, wasn't he? He was right next to the outside wall. He was right next to Almirola and never let off the gas. He stayed right in it.
Austin Dillon just brushing the wall moments ago.
Way up high off.
Same thing exactly that Todd Bodine did way earlier in the race.
Turn 4 there.
Almirola in front of the 17 of Timothy Peters, and Austin Dillon dropping back.
These little brushes against the wall, they don't help anything, Phil. You want all the aerodynamic help you can get at these big high-speed racetracks. So anytime you scrub one up, certainly doesn't help.
James Buescher in that 31 again just a few laps ago. Austin Dillon got into the back of him. He got into the wall and then slid across the grass, but back on the racetrack.
He all but had Jason White cleared there. He just needed an inch or two, but there he goes, squirting by Jason White down in 3 and 4. And look what it cost him. Way up the hill, and Jason's going to make the run back to the inside.
Not able to get to the inside. A lot of damage to that 31 truck from that incident, but his guys did a great job repairing the damage. I'm telling you, Todd Bodine is staying right with Kyle Busch.
Todd Bodine shadowing every move that the 18 of Kyle Busch makes.
Coming to 10 to go. These guys are going to battle it out over the last 10 laps.
Out of turn number 4. Kyle Busch leading Todd Bodine. 10 to go.
10 to go. 10.
Sounded like Mike Hillman Jr. maybe telling Todd there was 10 to go. Todd's going to run the high side.
I love what Todd's doing. He's just trying anything he can do to get a run on this 18 truck of Kyle Busch. You've seen him enter turn 1 a little bit higher there than Kyle. Again, down in 3 and 4. He's taking the middle of the racetrack. Kyle committed straight to the bottom.
See if he gets a run off of turn number 4. Todd Bodine shadowing the 18 as they cross the stripe. That time 0.118 seconds, so a little faster for Todd Bodine on that lap. And now to the outside.
Oh, Kyle got a little bit loose there, Michael.
Bobble by Kyle Busch. Can Todd Bodine capitalize on it? Down the backstretch. They are bumper to bumper.
This doesn't have anything to do with a points battle, guys. This is Todd Bodine just wanting to put Kyle Busch away. You're not going to beat me tonight.
8 laps to go as they cross the stripe.
And Kyle's driving his rear end off. We just saw that. He got sideways down in 1 and 2. Todd almost took advantage of it. Now it looks like Kyle Busch has run up to where Todd Bodine was running, trying to take Todd's lane away by moving up the track too.
Last time by, Busch just a little bit faster, 5/100ths of a second faster than Todd Bodine. This is for 5th on the right side of your screen. Almirola going by the 7 of Justin Lofton.
Looks like Kyle's pretty comfortable with that upper lane in 1 and 2, but sticks to the bottom in 3 and 4, and Todd closes right back up.
7 to go. Todd Bodine all over the back bumper of that 18.
He's going to get him loose. He's going to get to the inside.
Here comes Bodine down the backstretch, door to door, side by side. Todd Bodine trying to take the lead away from Kyle Busch. There's the wobble once again. Todd Bodine has to check up.
He recognized the fact that he had in a bad position about maybe getting loose down there. He felt a little bit checked up.
You know, you just can't run the corner as hard when you're on the inside of another guy. He's taking all the air. You're leaning on the air when you're down in the center of the turn. He didn't have any air to lean on because Kyle had the air. So he lost all that ground, but Todd's faster, man. He's going to catch him back. And he might not let off when it's the last lap and he's down on the inside of Kyle Busch.
You see Hornaday losing a spot to Johnny Sauter for 3rd, and now Hornaday battles back on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to take it back. Sauter with the momentum coming out of turn number 4. He will battle that 33 and take the 3rd spot away.
Same situation for Ron Hornaday as it was for Todd Bodine. He was down on the inside, got a little bit loose, lost that ground and the spot to Johnny Sauter.
Ever since Todd got sideways in 3 and 4, Kyle's been able to drive away from him.
Can Bodine reel him back in? When they come to the stripe, it'll just be 4 laps of racing to go. We take a look at the speeds at the line. Who is fastest? Kyle Busch.
By a pretty healthy amount, considering the lap before Todd was faster this time. Kyle by over 2/10.
Trapped in 3rd quick back there in the 8th position.
How about 9th and 10th? Chris Fontaine and Rick Crawford right now in the top 10.
I love those two running up in the top 10. Leaders are in traffic. Kyle Busch having to go way up the hill to get around the 01 truck. Probably going to cost him some momentum.
Definitely cost him some momentum, and that momentum will carry all the way down this straightaway.
3 laps of racing to go. The final 3 laps for Kyle Busch. Can he continue on his win streak? 3 wins in a row at Bristol. And now he moves to Chicagoland and smoking the 17 of Timothy Peters.
Got a caution.
And the caution will come out.
Wow.
We're going to have a green-white checker finish.
A green-white checker with Kyle Busch and Todd Bodine up in the front row.
Look at all the smoke coming out of that thing. It's coming out everywhere. Another engine failure tonight, Phil. This is unusual for the Truck Series. I guess that just goes to show you how tough this Chicago track is and how much these guys do indeed run their foot on the floorboard. These engines don't ever get a chance to take their breath.
They never get a break. They're just on these throttles so hard.
It'll be the 6th green-white checker finish of the season for the Camping World Trucks.
This is good stuff.
Yeah, horrible break, though, for Timothy Peters. Take a look at the all-time wins in the Camping World Truck Series. You see Ron Hornaday with 46, Mike Skinner, Jack Sprague tied for 2nd. Right now in 4th by himself, Todd Bodine. And if that guy in front of him was to win this race, he would tie him with Todd Bodine.
You know, if you add those four together and average their age, it's going to be up there in the 40s pretty far. And Kyle Busch is
25 or
somewhere near half that.
25 years old. There you see Timothy Peter taking the steering wheel off, and right as he crossed the stripe, the engine expires.
Yeah, in a major way. You think the race fans don't like green, white checkers?
He's
Look
like,
at that.
all right.
That guy, he said, that's what I'm talking about.
We're going to
some
see
action.
a green, white checker finish in the trucks.
Let's double these boys up side by side and let them go for it.
2 laps. Kyle Busch, again, the 2 trucks that are up front both changed 4 tires on the last stop, and they will start 1 and 2, or restart 1 and 2 when we go back to action, right?
Well, Rick, you know I love some green, white checkered stats, but this is even more important, I think, right now to talk about last lap pass for the win. 25 times in series history we've had a last lap pass for the win. The last 3 times it's happened, Todd Bodine has been involved one way or the other, either making the pass or getting past. The last time it happened, Kyle beat Todd at Talladega in '09, and I guarantee you that's still fresh in Todd's mind. Could be interesting on this green, white checker to see on that final lap if the 30's got something to beat him.
We are coming back for the green, white checker from Chicagoland Speedway. Can Kyle Busch make it 2 in a row here, or will Todd Bodine get to victory lane? Welcome back. Getting ready for a green, white checkered in the Camping World trucks for the EnjoyIllinois.com 225. And one of the guys that's a big player in this green, white checkered is Todd Bodine. Let's talk to him, Phil.
Let's do that. Hey, Toddley, Phil Parsons up in the speed booth. You got me?
I got you, Filthy.
All right, man, you're coming down to green, white checker. You and Kyle Busch have been so close. How are you going to beat him?
That's a darn good question. The restart concerns me here, but we'll give it the best shot we got. Looks like which way is he going? He's right in the middle. He's going to the outside. I don't know. You know, it's tough on the bottom here. You get sucked around pretty easy, but we'll give it a good shot here.
All right, get a good restart now. When you get back to the line, bring it home.
I'm going to try, bud.
Well, that's pretty interesting.
We talked to one of the players right there.
We're talking to him as they make the decision as to which line they're going to run.
And he wanted the outside line. He was hoping. Yeah, he was hoping Kyle would go to the inside.
And for a minute, he had a little shot of hope there. He saw Kyle not making his mind up immediately which way he was going to go, and you could tell Todd was hoping it was going to be to the bottom, but Kyle Busch took the top side. But still, you know, these guys have got a big job to do on this restart, Rick. Your tendency, what you would like to do when they throw the green flag, you just want to mat the gas and go. But you can't. These things have so much power. If you just throw the gas down, it'll spin the tires. You spin the tires, you don't win the race. And so you've got to be calm. You've got to be really precise with how you apply the gas, because you got to get it down harder than the guy beside you, but not so hard you spin your tires.
And remember, these tires are older and hotter, but with a little bit of debris on them as well.
Yeah, this is really tough stuff. Whoever pulls this start off the best did a job that I don't think many people appreciate how hard actually is.
They've continued to clean the tires there. We see Kyle Busch breaking the rear end free a little bit, trying to get those tires cleaned up as they come out of turn number 4. Our first attempt at a green-white checker finish. Green flag is in the air. A great restart by the 18, a slow restart by the 33 of Hornaday.
Looked like Ron missed his shift. He had a big run on Todd Bodine. He was going to be able to make his life even more difficult, but his momentum was lost. Now it's up to Kyle Busch and Todd Bodine to settle it between them.
Down the back stretch they go. The 17 of Timothy Peters making a run. Or Justin Lofton, excuse me, in the 7 making a run.
What about Justin up in the top 5?
For the second week in a row, potentially.
Coming out of turn 4. Kyle Busch now. We'll see the white flag one more time around Chicago.
What's Todd going to do? Is he going to try to get to the outside of him, Michael?
I think he's going to tuck down low there and see if he can do something with him in the other end. Runs the same tire tracks that Kyle Busch runs off turn 2. Kyle tries to block to the bottom. Todd stays high.
Down the back stretch they go. A 2-truck link advantage for Kyle Busch as they enter turn number 3. Kyle Busch trying to make it 2 wins in a row. The only driver to win at Chicagoland, and he will keep it perfect. Chicago is Kylestown.
2 for 2 in the Truck Series here in Chicago.
And 4 NASCAR victories in a row.
Kyle Busch continues his winning ways. Crafton, Crawford, and Dillon all in the top 10. He said that was a great finish.
There was our guy. He was the one that wanted to see that checkered flag.
That's
green,
what I
white
wanted.
checkered.
20th career win for Kyle Busch.
Race fans having a fun time on a Friday night.
Appreciate all the hard work and dedication through what we've done here. Thank you.
He breaks that tie with Ron Honaday on 1.5 miles. So now he has 10, one less than the guy that finished second, Todd Bodine.
How about the tie that he's in now for all-time wins in this series?
Ties Todd Bodine.
So now he's up to 20 wins in the Camping World Truck Series at just the young age of 25 years old.
This could be special before it's all said and done, Rick.
He's figured out how to celebrate. He can do a burnout.
He does a pretty good job with a burnout.
And that's right in front of our fans.
Eric Phillips saying, hey, now be easy. You think they'll take this truck to Kentucky?
It's not that far to Kentucky from here.
It isn't.
I don't think there's a scratch on it.
They can just go straight there, I think.
Where's our guy? Is he back there?
He was in the smoke. He was in the smoke.
There he is. Look at that. He's got 2 of them, baby.
He's double fisting. And he might even have a camera on his headset. Kyle Busch coming out of the truck. And how about that? The cheers and the roars for Kyle Busch. He doesn't hear that often.
I just hope, I mean, everybody appreciates the talent that man has. And they want to say good job, and some of them says, I don't want to hear it.
The 79th combined win for Kyle Busch in the 3 National Series of NASCAR. 79th.
I believe he's still in the 9th position all time as far as all-time wins in NASCAR.
Listen to some of the people he's creeping up on, Rick. Cale Yarborough, Bobby Allison, Darrell. I mean, people
Jeff Gordon.
Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon. I mean, just unbelievable success at such an early age.
Dale Earnhardt is up there a little ways.
And as we mentioned, he tied Todd Bodine tonight now for the 4th spot for all-time wins in the Truck Series.
And all those guys ahead of him have got 20 years or so on him, Rick.
They have a little experience. We'll be back to hear from Kyle Busch when he gets into victory lane and talks about his most recent win in the Camping World Truck Series. 1 year ago, Kyle Busch was in this very victory lane after winning the race and leading 79 laps. Tonight, he led 120 of the 154 laps, and he's back in victory lane. And we go down to Adam Alexander.
Last weekend, Kyle Busch got the Bristol hat trick. Tonight, he stays undefeated at Chicagoland in the Camping World Truck Series. There would be those that look at the stats and see how many laps you led that said this was easy. Not really the case there at the end.
No, we had, fuel trying to get in there, and it was hard to get it in on pit road or whatever, but the guys did a nice job on pit road. They had good stops tonight, and can't thank Traxxas. I mean, the fastest name in radio control. To get with the fastest driver, I guess, tonight, it's pretty cool to come to victory lane with these guys first time out, and can't wait for the next 2 we got at Talladega and Homestead. And it's going to be fun, man. I tell you what, the Toyota Tundra was awesome. This Traxxas Toyota Tundra, I mean, it was fun to drive. It was challenging with Todd. Todd ran me down and was probably going to pass me there, but I got a run on the outside, and I think he slipped a little bit, so, man, what great comfort out there in my Butler-built seat. It's always fun to race these trucks, and Marquis Jets, Gillette, all the guys on this team, Flexco, they do an awesome job for us and helping us out, NOS Energy Drink, and M&M's as well, so real proud of everybody here.
How concerned were you when the caution came out and you knew you were going to have to deal with Todd on the restart?
I was concerned, I remember last year it was real tough to get away from side by side, and this year, I got clear of him just going down the front straightaway, getting into the turn 1 there, and from there on out, I was worried that he'd get a draft on me. These trucks, man, they draft so easy. That's how I ran him down and got to him the first time, but he just didn't quite have enough to pass us. He had enough to hang with us all night, and it was fun, man. Really cool to be out here, and thank the fans, thank Camping World. Of course, you know, I don't have my electric sunglasses on, but thank those guys too.
4 in a row. Congratulations.
You got it. We're going for 5 in Kentucky next week, so watch out.
And that is the 75th Truck Series win for Toyota. Ray?
Well, let's hear from Todd Bodine, who finished second. Kyle said it was fun racing with you out there tonight, but your thoughts?
Second stinks. No, we had a great Toyota Tundra. Everybody at Germain Racing did a heck of a job as usual. We'd start the runs really loose, end the runs really tight. And right there at the end with Kyle, I had him on the outside, and he finished me up in the wall, and had him on the inside, and I got loose going into 3. But you know, it was good racing with him. You know, it's fun to race with a guy you can trust, and of course he was having to trust me because I was the one behind. But you know, it was a good night. Can't complain. You know, built the points lead back up to where it was before Bristol. Another good run, Toyota and everybody at TRD, JD, and the guys at the motor shop. Just awesome job again. Everybody at Triad. It's you know, you hate to run second, especially to Kyle. You know, that's tough, but we'll take it and we'll go to the next one.
236 the differential in points, and they'll load this truck up and take it to Kentucky next week.
Pretty good birthday present for Mike Hillman Sr. I think he had a birthday 2 days ago.
Yeah. This point thing's getting a little out of control, Phil.
Well, you know, last 3 or 4 weeks.
You're not giving in, are you?
No, it's just a little out of control. It's not completely out of control.
Todd Bodine with a 236-point lead over Eric Almirola. Johnny Sauter moves up a spot, but still 303 points behind Todd Bodine. Timothy Peters drops a spot. Hornaday in the 5th position. Kyle Busch continues his domination in the stock car world, winning once again in the Camping World Truck Series. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is presented on speed by Pep Boys. Pep Boys does everything for less. Call 1-800-PEP-BOYS. Brought to you in part by Camping World. The Camping World Destination Recreation Sweepstakes is back and better than ever. Camping World's offering more prizes and more chances to win. Visit campingworld.com and enter today. And by Toyota. Grandstands are clearing out, and we go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, thank you, Rick. The Easy Go Chevy had a good run tonight. Ron Hornaday brings it home in 3rd position, and you guys took 2 tires on that final stop. Have you rethought that at all, or was it the right thing to do?
We just needed that set of tires we had in the middle of the race. Kevin, whatever he did to them tires was an awesome job. I mean, that ran Kyle down, ran pretty good there, and then we put the next set of tires on. We just upped the air pressure a little bit, and it didn't like it. So just try to keep track positioning. The truck was really fast and clean air, but the Easy Go Chevrolet was good. So, I mean, you can't complain. Kevin and I are really gelling together right now. First mile and a half we got to race, and we overcome a lot of things this weekend, so it's a lot of fun. So make sure you go shop easygo.com.
10-4. I'll put it on my agenda. Another top 5 for Hornaday. Let's hear from a guy who is right behind him. He's with Adam.
And a pretty good effort for Johnny Sauter as well. 3rd, 4th is where you finished. Impressive night for you.
Yeah, for sure. Just super proud of the guys on our in-country television curb record Chevy. You know, I thought we had a really good truck all night. Track position's obviously really important, and we elected to take 2 tires there at the end, and I thought that was a great move. I got around Ron and thought we were going to come home 3rd, but you know, them double file restarts, whatever, I kind of screwed up and then spun the tires a little bit there on that last restart. But still a solid night for us, and just keep working on our mile and a half stuff, trying to get it better. I mean, that's you know, we're consistent. We just got to get up there and try to fight for these wins. But hats off to Kyle. I mean, he was lights out. So just got some work to do.
See you in Kentucky.
Thank you.
Take a look at our Edge products. Unofficial results. Kyle Busch. Todd Bodine 1 and 2 once again.
Another great run by Justin Lofton. Another top 5 finish. That's 3 in the last 5 races. Eric Almirola stays in contact with Todd, not only 236 points behind, but what a great finish by Rick Crawford with that new team, that 73 truck. What a terrific job. And David Starr with a new team for him as well. SNS Greenlight Racing gets a top 10.
You see Jason White there in 11th. James Busher had some issues with a spin off turn 2, recovered for 12th. And Chris Fontaine, the theme continues still. Guys that we love seeing get good finishes, we're able to pull them off tonight.
Ties his career best finish. Chris Fontaine back in 13th.
Timothy Peters, horrible break for him, losing an engine with just a couple laps to go. That drops him down a spot in the points with a 21st place finish.
Mike Skinner, a drive shaft breaking as he was trying to get off of pit road, so they had to spend time behind the wall to get that fixed before he was able to come back out. Shelby Howard looked good early, but problems for the 2 truck put him behind the wall early on. He was only able to complete a few laps.
The racing was out of this world, Rick.
Out of this world. We'll wrap it all up when we come back. The hardware in Kyle Busch's hands. Welcome back. Champagne being broken out in victory lane. And it's becoming a common theme for the driver of the 18 truck or car. Kyle Busch celebrating once again. Smiles on everyone's faces. Kyle Busch getting his 4th win in the Camping World Trucks this season. And a guy who had a pretty good finish, top 5 for Justin Lofton with Adam.
Third top 5 in the last 5 races for Justin Lofton. Another great effort for you guys tonight.
Yeah, it's just real proud of all the guys on the visitpit.com Toyota Tundra. It's been really cool running this good, and you know, last weekend in Bristol coming out of the top 5 and another one this weekend, you know, only leads to bigger and better things next weekend in Kentucky and for the following races.
Justin Lofton, the rookie of the race tonight here at Chicago.
Our next race, we head just down the road a ways. Kentucky Speedway, built Ford Tough 225. That's another Friday night race. 7:30 p.m. Chris Kubota will get us underway.
A lot of fans show up for the trucks in Kentucky next Friday night. Like you said earlier, Phil, the whole area is buzzing about Sprint Cup racing coming to Kentucky next year, and certainly the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series team will feel that buzz when they get to town next week.
Well, the good news is I don't know that these guys will have to face Kyle Busch next week.
Well, he said he was going to be there.
He did? Okay, well, that's good. Because
he said he wanted to keep that streak alive.
Yeah, because he certainly can, because all the practice and qualifying takes place at Atlanta on Saturday. So that leaves Friday open for Kyle Busch to come to Kentucky.
And keep his streak alive. It has been 4 in a row for Kyle Busch. He won 3 races in Bristol, the Truck Series, the Nationwide Series, and the Sprint Cup Series, and he continues right here at Chicagoland. He won here a year ago and then backed it back up tonight with 120 laps led. A dominating performance by one of the hottest drivers in stock car racing today.
Maybe in stock car racing history. He's put quite a streak together.
A great run for Kyle Busch. The Mobile One, the grid in its entirety, plays right after us, so stay here on Speed. Congratulations to Kyle Busch, the entire Kyle Busch Racing team, and that number 18 back to victory lane, 4 in 2010, back-to-back in Chicagoland.
Next week, the Camping World Truck Series heads to the Bluegrass State to lay some fresh rubber on the Kentucky Speedway. Last year, Ron Hornaday took home the checkered in Kentucky on his way to his 4th championship. With only 8 races left in the season, every point makes a difference. Who will make the difference in Kentucky? Chris Kubota hosts the setup starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, followed by flag-to-flag coverage, only on Speed.